Hello? What's up, everybody? Happy hump day. Happy hump day indeed. Let's get started.
Wednesday morning, alarm clock rings. Gotta get up to my own things. Jump out of bed, feeling kinda weak. Just one question, gotta ask the week. Head to the office, it's a typical day, but there's something special I gotta say. The break room's buzzing, the mood is high. Waffle giveaways, gotta reach the sky. Mike, Mike, Mike. It's the middle of a week, hump day vibes, but the rhythm speed building easy, staying in my zone. Tubing syrup dripping, feeling so alone, feeling so alone.
All right, got a new jam here for you guys. Brand new one, hot off the streets. You better believe. Waffle soon.
Yeah. Mike got a wrench in the bag, sand in the seams, still he don't brag. Bills for TT, stack by stack. Cable ties neat, motherboard black. Thermaltake case on the table like a throne. Fans lined up, got that airflow tone. He pinned the CPU with the surgeon's hand. One wrong move, then it's gone, man. Hump day hit, Mike in the zone. Click, clack, screws, he at work alone. He don't rush, he don't play. Every bill clean, every bay okay. You better step light when Mike come through. One chip part in the bill come due. He look at the socket like a hawk looks down. One slip, one scratch, then you hear that sound. Thermaltake is the way you better believe. Every day, hump day is the day. Mike build it right, no delay. Thermaltake is the way you better believe. Every day, don't chip up, don't play, or you'll lose a leg today. He got dust on his coat, but his hands stay clean. Reading specs like a dream in a magazine. TT on the side, that logo gleam. Case so cold, make the whole room scream. He seat that ram with the calm slow press. Any tiny crack, then the whole thing's less. He say, hold still when the torque gets tight. Respect that board or it won't post right. Mike got patience in the hard shell grin. He know the bill from the studs to the pins. When the power light hits, that green glow sings, and the camel just nods like I made good things. One bad chip and the dream gone limp. Mike don't blink, Mike don't slip. Thermaltake shine, TT pride. Build it sturdy, build it wide. Thermaltake is the way you better believe. Every day, hump day is the day. Mike build it right, no delay. Thermaltake is the way you better believe. Every day, don't chip up, don't play, or you'll lose a leg today.
All right, everybody. It is that time.
Middle of the week.
Get ready to waffle. Here we go. Get it in there, boys. We're going to be starting real soon. Let's go. Happy hump day.
Yeah. Big hump, big bite. Name Mike, sun bright. Sand in my kicks, but I walk so light. Got a crate full of better and my grill on high. Every Wednesday morning, they line outside. They don't come for the coffee, they come for the ride. I'm the camel with the lettuce and the syrup on the side. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes here, just square soaking up that love. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Hey, I play shows in the shade logo on the stage, turn my take lights up, whole crowd in the blaze, fans chant Mike K. Every time that I raise another gold, waffle to the sky like praise. Got crumbs in my beer, syrup drip on my chain. Got a lot of cool camels trying to get in my lane. I just laugh, flip that, and let them taste the flame. If you roll with the herd, better know the name. Mike. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes here, just square soaking up that love. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Left hump, right hump, throw your hands up.
Yo, what's good? Happy hump day, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Hanging in there. We're halfway through the week, everyone. Oh, finally. It's so busy, man. Been so busy, dude. Wow, it's been crazy. So many good things going on. We got big trips, big events going on, product launches, just everything you name it. Lots of stuff going on here at Thermaltake. Oh, and I get a little bit of a break today to get to stream with you guys. So it's good to see you. Happy hump day, everybody. Make sure you get in on that weekly waffle, exclamation mark waffle, for your chance to win. We'll let you sit there and chill and relax, you know, get a little hungry. You could be filling up your bellies with some free waffles here coming your way. Get in on it. We love having you guys here. Love giving it back here at Thermaltake. Happy hump day, everybody. Hope everybody's good. Oh, yeah. Waffle. Yeah, I was working on some new songs and just trying to play around with some different genres and stuff. Oh, man, it's so much fun. They even came out, Suno came out with a new version, 5.5 now, I think is the latest. And it's just kind of crazy to see like the songs that I've done over the years. And like some of the songs go so far back to when they first started. 5.5 is pretty good. I did a lot on 4.5. And I got a good amount of songs on 4.5, but yeah, dude.
I want bananas on my waffle.
Bananas. Yeah, like the remastering stuff's pretty cool. I like how they added animated album covers, and they've done some more stuff with either picture to animation, text to animation, or image. And I thought that's kind of cool to custom make like your own album cover versus like what like pre-generated, right? So it's some pretty cool stuff, man. Already coming in with the 3 months. Sub-a-dub-dub.
Anybody?
Dude, I cannot wait for Rick and Morty on the 24th.
Come on, I know you can hear me.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Happy hump day. Oh, man. I can't wait for Rick and Morty on the 24th. I guess of May, to be fair, because it is the 22nd. Just to be clear, you know, just to be clear. A lot of good stuff coming, though. A lot of good stuff coming on. All right, let's get into it. We got to finish a build today. You're excited. Dude, I saw the He-Man. Dude, that looks really good, actually. I mean, there's some pretty interesting movies coming out. I mean, I think they're really pulling it back, right? I mean, He-Man, Spaceballs, but I mean, you know, we got a little bit of wait for that, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty cool to see some of that stuff coming back, man. I'm gonna go see that movie for Mel, dude, 100%. 100%. Rick being back in the film, dude, and coming back is crazy, dude. I can't wait. We're gonna have to do some fun stuff with that when it comes out. I hope there's some cool new memes and some alerts we can do. Oh man, with Dark Helmet. Oh my God, I can't wait. And yes, dude, Pandora, I saw the Elden Ring movie, bro. Oh my goodness, that better be good. That better be good. Jared Leto is playing Skeletor? Oh, really? No way. I use that meme so much. Until next time. What's up? How's everybody? Thermaltake Live, you should get Crimson Desert to play in the TV in the background. Dude, wouldn't that be cool? If I could, I mean...
A dictator complained fiercely about the neckwear he received. What a tyrant.
What a tyrant. Thank you, Steve Playa. You know, you could probably do some, I could probably cut this out. It's just, you know, it's hard because it's like at an angle, right? But I know it's possible. And then just put like that in there and then just you know, it's funny. This reminds me of some old TV shows and everything. And the movie theater silhouette, if you can remember what that one is. But like, that'd be kind of cool to just like sit there and play that. I've been having a lot of fun, man. I've been playing the crap out of Crimson Desert. I'm almost to the end of it, but you know, I'm trying to have fun with it. There's so much to do. There's too much to do. There's way too much to do in that game, dude. But that's what I wanted. That is what I wanted. It was worth the $70. I'd say 100%. 9 out of 10. I gave it on Steam.
Listen up.
They didn't even have him do any makeup or CGI. Any updates on TTRGB 30607 that doesn't work? That does work, doesn't work. So we've been having, so there's a lot of updates that have been going on. A lot of it's been more focused on screen stuff as well as some other things. I'm planning on doing a software stream here soon, but I got a couple of things in the schedule right now that I got to get through to, you know, shuffle that into the mix. You know what I mean? You got to change the CDs on the CD thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, if you go to one thing, if it helps, if you go to our USA site, we are still on 305 over here for TTRGB Plus, and the LCD screen software is really behind at 102. If you go over to global, and I don't know if you guys have this problem too, but I've brought this up. So if you go to global, and I'm still trying to go, we got hit pretty bad. The website got owned. And then we brought it back. It's a little laggy, but you know, it's coming all the way on the other side of the planet. You know what I mean? But like, if you go to support and you click on downloads, at least for me here in the US, this is what I've seen where I just get a blank screen. You know, F5ing, control F5, whatever I've tried to do, you know, clear cache, you know, F5 stuff. I'm not able to get this to actually pull up the correct software to be able to see stuff. Are you guys having the same problem? This is something I've been bringing up, going like, yeah, I have this issue, and I've had a couple other people bring it up here in the office, and we've been trying to figure out if it's like a geo-tracker issue or something else related to the website. It's got to be something related, because like USA site, like I said, works fine. You can go there, no problem. It's just outdated. Now, if you know, the same thing. See, it's just nothing's changing, right? But then if I go here and I just Google Thermaltake downloads, what's that? Like if I just Google Thermaltake downloads and I go here off of Google. Music's loud, sorry. Oh, you know, that's on me. My bad. Was it duplicating the whole time? Oh, crap. I had my fader was faded, you know, a couple days ago. It's still trying to catch back up. Thank you for telling me, though. I didn't notice that wasn't muted, because it's just the stuff I got, you know, Waffle songs versus, you know, that DMCA fun stuff. Sorry about that. All right, but like I was just saying, if you go to global through Google, you get this page, and this works for me, and this is the only way I've gotten this to work. So I'm curious if you guys in the US that have went to go look for downloads are just wondering, hey, when's an update going on? Because I can understand that by looking at the dates, because some of this stuff on the US site goes, well, here, let me get, if I close that one. But like if I go back to this, I mean, this is what? This is December. You know what I mean? This is October of last year, right? And then if you come over to the later updates off of the global, 307 is the new version. This came out on the 26th of March. This one was more or less adding some new stuff, but it fixed some screen delay issues that we had specifically with the mag flow, as well as some of the other ultra screen AIOs. If there's something specific, I'd love to know. If there's something I can do to help, feel free to chime in and ask, you know what I mean? Or drop me a DM on Discord. You know, I'm totally cool. It's not that I want to make a big deal about it or use it as a case or an example or anything. Just want to help, right? There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. I have a pretty big list of updates and changes that we're working on, not just necessarily with what's public, but what's in beta right now that's coming. So we've been having a lot of discussions, actually. We had a pretty big meeting last week, and you know, talking a good bit about this stuff. The other thing too is the LCD screen. Newest versions now is 116, and then we're also going to have I believe the next version is going to be 120. that's going to come out. And this one, more or less, was updating some better improvements for the firmware updating for the screens. But this one's more specific to Minecube and Minecube directly. So basically, we got those two guys kind of going on right now. I mean, of course, there's some other stuff like with segment LCD software for our new AIOs. You can find all the latest on our global site right now. We should be getting caught up over on the USA site very soon. But just keep that in mind if you're like looking for an update or something like that. You know, check here for a newer update because we've been doing a lot of changes, a lot of additions of new products, and then of course, you know, that's affecting other things or causing some concerns there where we're trying to narrow down like, all right, now that we added this, what did it do to that or this or that or this or that? It's software, guys. This is why I'm in hardware. But we still got to test it all. And I've been spending a good amount of time on these softwares to figure out what's going on. So any software updates coming? Yeah, we should have. I think 307's pretty solid right now. I don't know. I don't think 308's around the corner just yet. And then for 116 for the Minecube specifically, there is definitely some critical updates coming for this one. And I think a lot of that was just screen orientation, rotation, like how it all works, what the firmware does. We've been doing a lot of testing. I know a good bit on how the process works, but I feel we need to explain that. And that's what I want to do for you guys. So trying to get that set up so I can kind of walk you guys through, do a little Q&A and everything, have some waffles, you know, sit back and try to help anybody that's having some problems and or find out other issues people have got going on so we can try to recreate them and get them fixed. I mean, it's an ongoing battle, man. It's an ongoing battle. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I appreciate you asking about it. If there's specifics to it, I'll try to catch that off the chat. If you said something and I already missed it, I apologize. I will do my best. I'm scrolling up actually right now just to make sure I didn't miss anything specific. You partied with the new Rick and Morty voice actors was kind of funny. They're very much like, yeah, you know, I don't mind the new voices. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I at first I was upset. I think like a lot of us are that have been watching since season 1, but I'm chill. I'm good. I'm good. I get it. I get it. I get it. But yeah, there's a little just quick little update for the software. If you guys have questions on stuff, just highlight your message. I'll try to grab it and we'll see what we can do. I mean, maybe it's easy. You never know, but I try to help out. I touch a lot of things. So here at Thermaltake specifically. And of course, today we are finishing up, I promise this time, finishing up our TR200 build. We got 4 SKUs of this, both in snow and black. Wood or not wood is the question. Got wood? We do. But yeah, we have a couple of new cases here. We also have the TR200 now in stock, and this is basically the ATX version of the TR series. So now we got mini, micro, and ATX in this fun little box shape. And to be fair, I'm digging it. I love the TR100. The 200's grown on me a lot. I've learned a lot building in this. The ATX version, it's getting a little bit bigger, you know what I mean? But it's ATX form factor. So there's a lot of give and take there with that, you know what I mean, for size wise and everything, because it just almost with the ATX it takes the fun out of the box a little bit, but not really. I guess it just kind of depends, but you can have some nice wood grain action here with the ATX options there too. I think I'm just bitter because the TR200 is the only one that supports the 5 1/4 optical drive. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. I mean, you can't fit that in the 100, even though it would be really cool. But it doesn't work in the 300 either, for that matter, which is I was really sad about. I was hoping the 300 and 200 would both have the optical drive option, but is what it is. Space is weird, trying to make everything work. I mean, the one thing that you can take away from the TR200 is if you do want to do optical drive, you have to limit yourself to a 240 AIO.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Alpha coming in with the 25 months. Thank you so much, Alpha. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. A waffle man. Let's go. Get in on those waffles, baby. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Some other cases popping up too. I mean, we've talked about the View 370. We've done builds in the View 370 as well as the TR100. You know, kind of covering a lot of the cases. But the one case I think that is lining up for us next is going to be going back on the Vision. We have the Vision 330. We covered an overview of the case because I didn't have a lot of time with Boston and PAX East to really do a full build at that time, but I did want to cover the case when it came out. So we did a nice little overview of the case there. You can see that on the website, or you can find that on YouTube. I believe it's still on Twitch, but it's definitely over there on YouTube. But I believe we're going to start our build for the Vision 330 next week. And I'm excited about that, getting into something with a little bit more wiggle room. I mean, I do got to appreciate the TR200 for what space it has for the size that it is. But yeah, going back to some more fish tanks. Gotta love fish tanks. So we're going back. We got a premium fish tank. This has got the one-piece curved, and that's tempered glass, not acrylic, folks. Tempered glass, one-piece curved. It's got a swing door. Kind of interesting. It's got some unique features. I think one of the things that's different about that one is that this case is coming with more fans than we've ever done. And it's kind of like seeing, maybe testing the waters a little bit to see if people appreciate basically only having to buy an AIO for their cooling, because you pretty much have the rest of your fans all slotted in there. The case comes with 6 fans in the case. Most of the time we do 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most for fans in a case, so they'll be a little different and some good talking points, but we'll be checking that out more next week on Thermaltake Live. So come back for some more waffles. If you want to play around with some Vision, you want to see the Vision, just keeps reminding me of that Marvel movie, man, the Vision. Maybe I'll have to do like a camel that looks like Marvel, the Vision from Marvel, and make cam with the little, maybe I'll figure something out for AI. That'd be funny. That would be super funny, man. The OnlyFans case, seriously, I mean, it has more fans than we've like done, and I can't even remember. So maybe, yeah, kind of, and I mean, dude, at the same time, it's $100, right? Like, I think you're gonna look at that and go like, oh crap, it comes with 6 fans, so it's probably $200 in this economy, right? So, I mean, I'm kind of surprised and shocked in a way. For one, the price point of this with what it includes compared to some of the other cases around the same price point, because it's like, well, dude, if this is $100 and comes with 6 of these fans, you know what I mean? Like, I come down here, this is $100. You know what I mean? Come down a little bit more. Well, this is $150. You'd think it'd come with more fans. I mean, it comes with 4. You know what I mean? You get the 3 on the side and the 1 back. At least I believe that's what it comes with. But you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of it is thanks to like those 3-in-1 fan like single frames, right? Where it's like one big frame supporting 3 fans. It kind of reduces the cost, allowing us to throw more into the build to kind of give you, you know, just a little bit of relief on the cooling costs. But yeah, we'll be checking that out more. We still got the TR200 here up on the table today. I've seen a lot of cases, and after seeing all those amazing Thermaltake cases, I must say they are top tier. Thank you, Mr. Brain. I appreciate that, Mr. Cyber. Appreciate it, sir. I hope your build, by the way, from PAX is going good. Hope you're having a good time with that. Hope it's getting its uses, my friend. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? Hope it's being used a good bit. And then, of course, we have some new AIO cooling. We are building today, and we're going to be installing our LB360-S AIO. This is a new cost-effective AIO. I mean, $89, not even $100 for a 360 AIO. You know, got wood. It's got a little bit of wood here on the side, but no like screen. You know what I mean? It doesn't have like a proper, like you can put any animation graphic like some of the other AIOs, but look at the price point. You know what I'm saying? So something more cost effective, maybe like a case that doesn't have windows, you know what I mean? And you're just looking for something affordable in a 360 flavor, mind you. You know what I mean? So we got this guy on the table. We're going to be slapping it in today. I think, yeah. And then other than that, we got the V3s. I was going to grab one of these, but I'm going to probably save the V3 for the Vision because, you know, the 200 didn't have a window. And I'm like, well, why would I want to promote an AIO with a screen if you can't see the screen? So I felt like I at least thought about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the V3 would be a good fit for the Vision for that build. So, and it's new, so we'll be taking a look at that. You know, from the updated version of the V2s now with the V3s. But dude, I think the one thing I got to say is, I mean, Minecube aside, with a $400 AIO, right? Today in this economy, I think a lot of people are stressing on finding $400, not just for AIOs or fans for that matter. I mean, have you seen the prices of fans out there for 3-packs? I mean, bro, it's getting wild out there, right? So I think people might be a little bit more favored to trying to save a couple of bucks, throw that money into RAM or graphics for that matter, if you can get your hands on it. If I can even get my hands on one. Which AIO has the thickest rad? Well, I would say, I mean, it's of course a DIY LCS rads, but you know, it's one thing that we've been talking about too is like, you know, most of our AIOs have been like a standard 28 mil thickness. And, you know, I've definitely seen out in the market 30, 32, going a little bit fatter with that. I think a good bit of it, as far as like, from our perspective as a company that makes cases and we make AIOs, there are some cases where the AIOs we currently have barely fit to that spec, right? And it's hard. You got to think about this, right? You got to go like, well, if we make a new AIO with a thicker rad, we're going to have some compatibility with certain cases where that was more or less not the case. No pun intended. But we have to be careful about that. But I do agree, thicker rads would definitely be a big. I mean, AIOs have been so favorable, right? Like, I mean, DIY's pretty much dead. I mean, it's only just fashion and show, mod build, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's really not something that you're seeing. You know what I mean? Well, this is interesting. Your ad is about to start. Snooze for 5 minutes. And then it says ad starting in 2 minutes. So if I snooze it now, do I lose my 2 minutes? So could I get 7? Come on, Twitch. And yeah, 28 is pretty much our standard for AIOs. I mean, I don't think, I mean, if I look at that one, let's look at this one. And then let's go to something create like the cube and the curve, right? So if we look at our regular rad, I think it's listed in here if it's not on the bottom. Okay, so this one's 20. Oh, you can't see that. Crap, sorry. So this one is 27, not 28, 27. This is, oh my gosh, this is the LB360, the one that we have here in the TR200. So that one's 27. If I come over here to the V3, go to specification, it should be down here. That's 27 as well. Okay, mag curve. Let's see if they're all the same. Let's see if they're all the same. Wait. Why is, huh? Okay, maybe this page, that's an interesting, didn't know we did this for specifications page. This could be some, oh, this looks, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it's for an AIO. Okay, well, we're just going to skip that one. Let's go to this one. 27 as well. So, yeah, 27. But, yeah, I honestly think 30 would be a good fit. Oh, let's get the snooze right here. Hold on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 1. Snooze. They'll give me an extra 2 minutes there on the anti-ads for you guys. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think I'm definitely down for the thickness as the music is playing. But and why I've always favored like DIY LCS, man. It's just so good. So good. 40 mil is like where I'm at. Like I feel like 45 mil is the sweet spot for radiator thicknesses for a lot of cooling performance. Going like 60 plus, it doesn't really make a big difference. We've tested this. But then, you know, something like 27 is kind of laughable in a way. I mean, when DIY was strong, that was kind of the joke with AIOs, you know what I mean? And then look, now today, air coolers are almost, if not surpassing AIO performance, right? And it's like air cooling's really trying to make a pushback, man. AIO's really trying to make a pushback. But yeah, like, I mean, I've done 64 mil stuff, but I do like the 45 mil thickness with us. I'm trying to think, you know, over here we go. Performance liquid cooling can pump and rads. There we go. Like this one right here, like the CLD 360. Like with this one, this is 40 mil thickness. This is a 40 mil thick rad. I like the 40 mil thickness. I think it's a good fit. But again, you know, you have to think of compatibility for cases, not just even with Thermaltake cases, but other companies out there too with those kind of things. I think that's why you don't see too many making extra thick AIOs, because they know what's going on and they don't make cases either. So it makes a lot of sense with that, right? But we'll see how the trends go. Definitely something that's been on my plate to be like, hey, can we make the rads a little bit thicker? I mean, it really does make a difference. Oh, dude, look at, so then the Twitch said snooze for 5 minutes, and then in 2 minutes, it gave me another 3 minute. Okay, so it is 5 minutes. Oh man, they're dirty. Dirty. And then if you want to power up with something insane, we have our new Tough Power i1650 watt power supply. This thing has 4 Gen 5 connectors on it if you need that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's really kind of interesting. Let me see if I can, first and foremost, it's digital. So this is going to be integrating with TTRGB 3.0. So that's a huge thing right there. But it is a digital power supply. But some very interesting type of connections. We did some different things here, and I don't believe it's really explained too much on the website. But if I can give you one example, which I thought was kind of interesting. So if you look at, let's see, can I blow this up? Yes. So look at the connector here, right? So this is your 24 pin, right? 24 pin broken up into 2 parts on the PSU side. Pretty standard type of connection with that. But one thing sticks out to me that I thought was interesting, and I had to look at it, was that the PCIe's up here. Look at this. 3, 4, 6, 12. So there's a 12 pin single connector to 2 8-pin PCIe's in a special new cable only for this unit. So then this one right here is, instead of doing like an 8 to an 8 and then splitting that and just going, yeah, you know, you got 16 wires but only 8, and you only need 8, you know, stuff like that. So and then, you know, like you look at 12 volts versus grounds and all that, and if you know stuff about power and everything, 12 covers a good extra on the 12 volts for what you're looking for. But it's a different connection for it. I'll try to see if I can grab one. It is a higher end unit. I mean, the freaking thing is like $550. It's $550, so it's not cheap. But this is a very unique or new connection. And then there's some different cable adapters included too, which I thought were really interesting as far as how different configurations go cable wise, like physical cable wise. And then it's all tied into the software. So new 1650i power supply here from us at Thermaltake. I mean, it's 80 plus titanium. You know what I mean? It's got the cool little matcha cable on there, just like our cool little white power supply that we have here today. But you know, some cool stuff. Waffle me a riddle, please. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. Let's see if I can find a good one. Let's see if I can find it. Waffle riddles. I've thought about this before, but not fully. Wait. Well, that one's kind of stupid. It says, I'm golden and grid light with pockets all around. What am I? I'm crispy on the outside, fluffy in the middle. Stack me on a plate and solve this little riddle. What am I? This is pretty funny. Get that stupid ad out of here. I'm made in a press, not written with a pen. People eat me for breakfast again and again. What am I? I'm not a pancake. How dare you? Though we're closely related. My little pockets mean I'm often celebrated. What am I? Why did the waffle go to school? To get a little batter of math. Batter at math. I messed that up. All right, let me find another one. Let's see. I'm gonna give Compa some S. He's probably doing this too right now. Why are waffles bad at keeping secrets? Because they always crack under pressure. That's like an egg joke. That's like an egg joke. I don't know about that one. Oh, nice. My waffle worked today. Good. Oh, good. Yeah, dude, I have no idea. I have no idea. Sammy Blue coming in with a 17 months. There's some waffle riddles for you, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but I wanted to make sure I said that. Let's see. What's another? Let me do one more. Let's see. One more good one. Let's see. What's a good one? You can toast me, top me, or freeze me for later. I'm square dimpled breakfast joy straight from the maker. What am I? Oh my God. I want waffles now. You did this to me. You did this to me. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get it. Let's do a cool little translation thing. Whoa. Man, if I only had somebody to help me with that. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I think those are Cardi B lyrics. You know, dude, I don't know. Man, I don't know, man. It's just, it's that AI stuff. You know what I mean? Do I even own these songs? I mean, I guess I'm the creator, but I'm not. It's a very interesting topic on the internet, and very curious to see where this ends up going. I got fired from a bank today. A woman walked in and asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her. Hey, can I check my balance? Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, ma'am. Back of the line. Back of the line. It's a good one. I like it. I like it. Oh, but yeah, happy hump day, everybody. Welcome back. We are Thermaltake. I am ThermalMike. Always having some fun. Nice little Waffle Wednesday to break up everybody's week. It's stuck? Oh, it is stuck. Well, you know, that timer works and then doesn't work. I think, you know why it did that was because I did the stupid transition thing. Because if that image is not on the transition, it restarts. Like it's just dumb. It doesn't know. See, I shouldn't have done that. I broke it. I broke it, and now it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Let's get it out of here. It doesn't work anyways. Stressing me out. It's Wednesday. Gosh. Got so many other things to worry about. Silly little waffle timer doesn't even know how to count. Last week we were working on our TR200 micro case. This is a micro ATX case, and we're talking about a lot of the very unique features that the case offers. I forgot it was Wednesday. Well, no, you didn't. You're here. See, good job. Good to see you, Box. Good to see you. I know, the week has definitely gone by pretty quick for me. Last week as well was like really busy, man. I just so much stuff going on, plus trying to, get stream schedule stuff going on. Like I had to jump to other things, other meetings, other stuff, like all wrapped in with live streaming. But I find the time for you guys. Sometimes I feel like, I should just cancel hump day, and I'm just like, I can't do it. Gotta be here. People need their Wednesday break. Their week is going to be all screwed up if I don't pop in and offer them a free waffle. You know what I mean? You're just like, you don't want to go waffle-less every week. You know what I mean? Here and there. I mean, we're gonna have to take another break, sadly, because we're gonna be going to Taiwan for Computex. But I mean, is what it is. But at the same time, nice little trade-off. You guys will get a good amount of new content from us, from all the media that will be there. But it's still a little bit of ways. Coming up first week of June. We're still in April, so we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon about it. But yeah, our TR200 build focused a lot last week on talking about some of the very unique features of the case. I mean, one thing that definitely stands out is that you have the power supply mounted to the front of the case. We talked about the different orientations that the case offers for the power supply, and kind of the pros and the cons. I think a lot of it for me was just the cable management. You have the ability to mount the power supply either higher or lower, just like the Price is Right. Right now we told Bob we wanted to go higher, and I think it's working out a little bit better. I think a good amount of that relates to just having a little extra bendability with the cable management, like I was talking about last week, and just trying to get everything fit in here. Now, cable management always comes up as a concern when you're working with a smaller case. And this was one thing where I was just like, wow, the back panel doesn't give me a lot of room or necessarily a lot of options for like where to put certain stuff. I've been spoiled with a lot of dual chamber cases where I literally got about a good 3-inch width right here to just jam whatever I need to and close the panel, or hope to close the panel. And not even have to really worrying about much of anything. You know what I mean? So this case did become a unique little setup for me, trying to figure out the best way to kind of clean up the cables and more or less leave off with where we were last week, because we got to install the AIO amongst the rest of the parts here to get everything done today. So I kind of had to leave a couple of things open. I got little PWM splitter on there, and that also came up as another thing too. Now with the TR200, this being a micro ATX case, one thing to consider about this, and I could say the same for mini ITX, but take a little peek at what you're going to do, one, for your cooling, because OnlyFans matters. And then 2, see what your motherboard offers for PWM headers, how many they have, and where they are located. Because sometimes if you just read a spec and you go, oh, it's got 4 PWM headers, you can be like, oh, that's cool. That's plenty for what I need to do. I mean, I have one for the bottom 3, which really makes it ideal versus having 3 separate PWMs that I have to use like a 3-way splitter or wherever, or go buy something to adapt it, because I definitely don't have that many ports for everything else with a micro ATX board. And then you tie in a 360 AIO on the top, You got a fan here in the back. You know, it starts adding up for PWM cables. I mean, in the old days, back when we used to build PCs, I'd have to worry about 7 PWMs. Now I really have to worry about 3. I mean, to be fair, that's such a huge difference. And I mean, if it's something you've been dealing with or something you dealt with your last build that's still rocking and rolling and everything, I would say it's definitely a big consideration to look into, not just with the ability to have and need less PWMs to keep the same cooling, but just, you know, looking at stuff like, you know, fans coming in 3 into 1 in a single frame with all 3 fans, or just getting the cool little magnetic connections and not having to deal with a 1-to-1 cable anymore. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could ever go back to a 1-to-1 cable, even if it was free. But then, you know, there are still some fans like this one right here that do still have that kind of scenario, but comes with the case, right? So you have different, and I mean, this guy right here is probably the one caveat to the entire idea of it, because there's literally only one here on the back. Granted, we've made some cases that offer 2 like 120 or 140s on the back, but those are definitely rare, like the View 390. But hey, you know what I mean? Like, it's still a thing. It's kind of like how Molex still exists, or you know, the fact that we still have only 2 USB 2.0 headers. And then that brings up another thing when building with the TR200, is that most micro ATX boards may or may not have 1 or 2 USB 2.0 headers. Now, this board in particular has 2, so that's good. But I know there's some out there that offer 1. The other thing too is that when you have 2 USB 2.0 headers, they're usually shared, meaning that you're only going to be able to get a certain amount of bandwidth out of either one because they're shared within the same. And you know, those kind of specs, I mean, a lot of those kind of details aren't vastly shown when you're looking at these beautiful motherboard design pages trying to show you all the top features of the case and everything, right? They're going to talk about how many ports it has on the back, how many type C's it has, USB 4, stuff like that. So a lot of times with smaller cases like this, especially that pack a good amount of cooling, depending on what you want to do too with screens and everything, always something to consider. Now, with this particular case, you don't have a window. This has got a perforated panel. You're really not going to see anything. But the one thing I'm hoping that we're going to get is a good little underglow here from the 3 fans that we put here on the bottom, and or with like the AIO to give it at least a little bit of glow, even though we have perforated solid panels on both sides. No windows, no glass here, but a good amount of perforation. And I think that's still important. I think a lot of people for a case like this is something more or less what they're looking for. A solid workhorse, something a little bit cleaner, maybe a little, just to kind of not necessarily hide, but blend in with its surroundings, you know what I mean? Where you're just kind of like, oh, that's a PC over there. Oh, I didn't know that was a PC. You know what I mean? So I could see some people thinking about that for the space and for, you know, the applications for a case like this, right? Because it's just a small little, I mean, it's bigger than a shoebox. We're not talking TR100, right? You know what I mean? It's not SFF, but it's a little bit bigger than SFF, but micro ATX, you know what I mean? And it's probably one of the reasons why this one's kind of, you know, been something I've liked because of the options. I mean, yeah, old school aside, I love the optical drive option for this. I think being able to have an option to utilize your personal physical media is something I think people may want to look back on and get stuff like that. You got some old movies that you probably haven't seen in 10 years. This might give you a fun opportunity to slap in a disc. We don't even remember what that's all about. You know, opening a tray, putting in this disc thing, and then you close it, and then it makes a weird noise and vibrates. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, like stuff like that, man. I think that's why the TR200 sticks out for me. And I think we pack in a good amount of airflow and ventilation for a case in this size too. Now, going back on cable management, because I kind of pre-laid out a good bit of stuff. I mean, there was a lot of cables that I was like, where am I going to put this? How am I going to do it? You know what I mean? I had something like 16 diskettes Diskettes, dude. I remember, I think I had Windows like 95 or something like that still on floppy, and it was like 52 discs or something like that. I could not even imagine today doing something like that. There's just no way. Now today, I mean, I can install Windows in under 10 minutes. I think it's even quicker now, but usually about something like that, because I maybe forget to click next, or I have to, it does the automatic reboot, you know, because I'm doing other things, you know, and I'm busy. But it's, you know, it makes, but like, this case became more of a tuck the cable type of case versus grab a bunch of zip ties and secure everything down. Now, of course, with where I'm at today with the case, we still got some building to do. So I didn't want to wrap everything up, but I did want to at least secure some stuff, bundle some things up so I could at least hope to close the back panel by the end of the stream here as we fire this up for the first time. But with the micro ATX motherboard, with how everything was kind of laid out, I mean, you do have a recess, or this section right here. The way we designed the case, the motherboard is recessed further back on the back panel, but then it kind of helps because this side where you would have your storage, because this right here is actually a storage bracket. Let's see if I can, that of course is still locked in there. But you do have an option for storage, because I feel that it's important for even, you know, even for a case like this. And you do have a couple of options there with it. I mean, first and foremost with this particular little bracket. Now this bad boy can come out and give you either one HDD or two SSDs for mounting there, which should cover a good amount of storage for what you may or may not want to do. You also have the option to ditch the front fan and put another hard drive right there. But ideally for me, flash storage and a solid mechanical drive might be probably the best case scenario for me. If I had an extra SSD, I might just kind of tuck it right there or find another spot for it, because I'm usually not too worried about those in comparison to mechanical drives. And the thing that I did like as well is that with the accessories with the case, come on, wait, I didn't get it on. Come on. And the other thing that I did like is that the case does come with little rubber washers and special hardware for the storage, you know, for that anti-vibration stuff and everything. And oh wait, oh yeah, it's not in the, it needs to get in the slot. Get in there. Okay, we're good. Hold on, let me change up some stuff. Let me change the jukebox here just a little bit. What do I want to do today? Well, let's just get our little, let's see, where's the thing that's got a million different songs in it? Yeah, let's change this up. We'll do something a little different. We are gonna go, wait, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do regular shuffle, or let's do super smart shuffle. How about that? And then we do a little of this. There we go. There we go. A very popular song. I do try to not stop believing that I can get this build done today. But dude, the cable management on the back of the case, right? Like, I found myself with a limited amount of space. I did thankfully have a good amount of room, because I don't know if you can really tell, but the way the motherboard and the storage is, right? The storage more to the front kind of creates that little bit of a pocket for me, especially right here on the one side. Now, some of the things that I noticed too while I was going through with the cable management was that, you know, there's a good amount of holes here where you can see, you know, the cables and the bundling and how you bundle and everything. And I was just like, it's okay, but like, I'm going to be able to see that. And then it just clicked for me. And I'm like, oh yeah, this doesn't have a glass front panel. So it's not really going to matter too much for that. But I still always like to try to get everything bundled as best that I could, right? And I mean, besides like the big 24 pin, I ran my EPS up and around over this way. Worked out a lot better than running it down through this bottom channel because there is a very thin little lip right there. And the nice thing about the motherboard being recessed is I have this little space or like shelf on the top. And that really helped to run that EPS as well as the rest of the cables for like my fans and stuff, because I did still have the back fan, and we still have to also run the cables for the AIO that's going to go right here on the top. So I did like this. There are a couple cable tie mounts here on both sides along the top, as well as down in this little middle channel that I think a lot of us are familiar with doing our cable runs. And it kind of works out because the one thing I was worried about was how far out, you know what I mean? Like, is this bad boy gonna not be able to close, kind of thing? And usually I try to overlap stuff, right? You know, put the EPS behind the 24. I like to have that 24 cable on the outside and just kind of zip tie everything around behind it so it just looks clean AF on the back, and all you see is more or less the 24 pin. Well, I mean, with this, you can achieve that for the most part, but I feel shifting it off to the side a little bit and kind of running it next to it prevents you from getting like a bulge on the back of your case. Some people may prefer a bulge on the back of their case, but I do like to make it so that the panels do close. So you have some options there with that. But I did find it a little bit tight for the space, but still completely workable for, you know, what I want to do and just kind of tucking everything in here. And this is another thing too, was that going through with like all the connections for, you know, all the stuff that goes along the top, down the side, you got your USB 3.0, your Type C, your 24 pin. So there's a good amount of stuff here on this side, but then you have a couple of things that kind of wrap around the case. A lot of it being like the front panel connection. Again, I freaking love that it is cut out of the front panel. The front panel can be completely separate like this, where that retains onto the case, because I don't want to have to deal with the cables and this thing hanging out and all that fun stuff. Oh, that's a thing of the past that just drove me crazy, right? But like, I did find some cool little things where, like, with the case, there is a nice lip right here on the bottom. Box's favorite song. But there's a nice little lip right here on this side, and I took advantage, especially for like the front panel stuff, because, you know, it's got to run all the way there and then go into the motherboard, right? Well, this cool little lip that was right here gave me that, the height of that gave me the ability to do a nice little bit of tucking. I mean, the black cable definitely stands out a good bit. This is for the front panel connection. It makes me think that we need to make this cable in white, right? But, you know, still, I mean, you can kind of tuck it around the back. You're not going to see it anyways for the most part, but it really does stand out with a sea full of white cables back here. You know what I mean? But having the ability to kind of just tuck this around, because I got to keep a little bit of space here so we can plug our screen in before securing it onto the case, and then I can more or less final this cable with, you know, however, whatever I'm going to do. But like a lot of the front pin stuff, the Type C, the USB 3, a lot of that tucked down in here real nicely, going over here, going into the port for your front panel, you going all the way back here for your HD audio, you know, stuff like that. And then even on like the back side there. Now, the one thing I didn't like was that there was no cable ties on this side or this back little part of the case, right? And as you can see, I got some cables back in there. And ideally, what I did was I can pull this out so you can see, but little bundle of cables. These were the cables from that rear fan. And then what I did was I just kind of bundled it up enough that it made a nice little snug fit right here on that back panel. And it more or less tucks in quite nicely without really having to add an extra zip tie or secure it down for just whatever reason, purpose of maintenance, cleaning, or just troubleshooting. It's easy to just kind of pop that out of its little side pocket there and do whatever I need to do, but then still be able to get it tucked away pretty nicely. And I say a lot goes for down here as well. I mean, there are some cable tie options down here as far as securing it down. We're almost done with the build. We still got a little bit more, so I didn't want to do too much because, gosh, the last thing I want to do is go back on things like that. But I did feel that for a smaller case, this did fit pretty well for a lot of my cables, still giving me a good amount of access for the storage. But one thing I do want to mention that I came across when doing my cable management was that, first and foremost, we haven't thrown our graphics card in just yet. And I mean, you know, I've pre-run our Gen 5 cable here with our matcha tip, you know, just the tip in matcha. And I did notice that with the little GPU riser bracket, this little bad boy was definitely a lot higher. When I test fitted the graphics card, it was hitting it, right? So adjustment was needed. Well, on the back of the case, it is in a way located right here where you like to run your cables. So one thing to consider is that before you zip tie everything and secure everything down, I'm assuming you've already more or less installed your graphics card and that you're going to be going in here and adjusting the height appropriately and securing down the bracket. Now, the little bracket for the GPU is really not a problem. I'm literally holding the screw right now, but as you can see, there is a variety of cables around it. So adjustment and mount of this may be something you want to do after the cable management, but it's not definitely something like where you can remove this bracket. You want to add it back in later after you've done all your pretty cables. It's going to be a big problem for you. So something to plan ahead for in regards to just how the adjustment goes for that GPU little riser bracket. And it works great. It's got a nice little foam pad on it. You just want to plan ahead and get that secured in before you start zip tying down every cable on the planet in the back here. Oh, nothing like some fresh squeezed coolant to start your Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, just running cables around, and I kind of try to leave this area open. You know, I'm not running the EPS at a 45 because I have to, because the cable's too short. I mean, the one nice thing about cases like this is that you get a good amount of room to be able to run stuff a couple of different ways. But then I guess the trade-off too is that some cables will be a little too long and you got to figure out what you're going to do with it. I mean, besides like the 24 pin and some of this other stuff, there is still a good amount of excess with that. And one of the nice options that I found was being able to kind of get not try to pull the cables as tight as possible off the power supply where there's literally nothing back here. I don't even know how. There's literally nothing here for this, and those cables are tight, and you know you're putting a little too much force against the connectors on the power supply. In turn, I kind of utilize this to give it a little bit more of a looser bend to it and utilize that extra space so I didn't have to deal with it back here. So like taking this and kind of pushing it in and just getting a little bit of extra wiggle room. I mean, if you look at the case and you look at it right here, I mean, yeah, you can probably see that I got my serial ATA or my SATA connections just right there in the front. But, you know, it might be like a second look for you to notice or just for me to actually call it out to see. But it was a nice little way for me to tuck something as crazy as my SATA cable just right there underneath the power supply. Now, I mean, it blocks a little bit of airflow. I get it. There's no fan on the front, so it doesn't necessarily make a big difference. But at the same time, it's not blocking your critical airflow where I feel that it's a big issue. And I would say the same thing too with the cables. If you need a little bit of extra room as far as pulling those back, it definitely gives you a good amount of space there in the front. You just need to mind that front fan, depending on how you orient or what you're going to put down there. I mean, some people might only just put 2 fans down there over the GPU, not accompanying for the front fan or the third fan, for example, in the front, because maybe they want to put a hard drive right there, right? So you have options for a variety of things there, and it's your mod, your way as far as what you want to do, right? So I didn't have too many problems with the cables. It was a little bit of a tight fit once I got everything put in. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. The one thing that was a nice feature that the case offers, and I would say this specifically for when mounting the power supply, because I've already done the cable management. I've utilized this little back little lip right here that's attached to the bottom, mind you, to utilize to tuck in some cables to give it a clean look. But at the same time, prior to doing this, I took the floor out. I literally just took the entire floor out of the case. And by removing the entire floor, all my power supply connections right here at the front were literally just going straight out this way. So before mounting the floor and securing the 3 fans, you know, and plugging them in and running the cables for all that kind of stuff, I utilized having the floor not there to be able to give me some ease of access for the cables, right? To be able to get those cables in there and kind of route them through the back. Gave me a good amount of room to kind of see, you know, if they were getting too much torque or whatnot, as far as how I put them all on there. And then literally just dropping the entire case back on the floor, locking it into place with the single set screw here on the bottom in the back. So really helped me out with that. Now, it doesn't help with the cable management, because once you start tucking stuff away back there and everything, that's part of the floor. So like, you can't really get all your cable management particularly done without putting the floor in to finalize it. But it was still kind of a fun little neat, hey, I need a little bit of extra space, especially with the cables pointing down in the front on a case like this, where you don't got a lot of space. Just take the floor out. Help you out a good bit. Definitely helped me out. But like I said, it all depends on when you go to do it. I drove 19 miles with you on my mobile for a doctor's appointment. Nice. Appreciate it. Glad we could help you with your waffle ride to the doctors. Make sure you let him know that you are eating your waffles on an appropriate basis, right? He should recommend as a new prescription more waffles for you too. Make sure you let him know. Riz coming in, by the way. Thank you for the 20 stream streak, my friend. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you hanging out. That's a lot of weeks, my man. A waffle a day keeps the doctor away. That's what they all say. That's what they all say. And Steve, thanks for sharing. We do appreciate that. I love being, you know, your distraction from your daily duties. I do it too, and I think it's hilarious. I think a lot of us do. It's like the old days of having a little basket with some magazines. You know, I had my Nintendo Power. I had my PC magazine. I had, what was it? PC User, PC Club, and then what was that other gaming? Game Informer, dude. I miss the old school Game Informer, big magazines. While you know, doing the waffle in the bathroom. Game Informer, man. They tried to come back, and then I don't know. But I don't know if I could get back into that now with the way technology is. It's really hard. Game Pro? Yeah, dude, Game Pro, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I just memorized the computer shopper. Thrasher magazine. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. PC Gamer demo disc with Coconut Monkey. Dude, you get those. It had a disc inside and you were so excited to play it. And it was like, you know, one of those like free Burger King games or something like that. EGM, baby. Electronic Gaming Monthly, man. Hell yeah. EGM, dude. That takes me back too, man. EGM. You would say that today to most people and they would just be like, oh, what DJ is that guy? EGM? Let me look him up. Oh, man, it's almost summertime. We're halfway through April. Dude, don't steal my screws, man. Oh, but yeah, I think working in the case has got some fun stuff.
Gas prices aside, Chippy says he can't afford to drop by your show for a while. The last 2 visits cost him an arm and a leg.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Gas prices have definitely gone up. I can totally understand. It's tough on the wallet, man. It's tough on the wallet. Dude, Computer Shopper, man, that was like the encyclopedia of PC parts. Chippy's doing perfectly fine. He's hanging out. He's excited. He's been reading Nova Lake leaks. He's been reading up on Nova Lake leaks, man. I hope Intel definitely brings it back with Nova Lake, dude. I'm really excited for that. I mean, AMD had their day yesterday. I think it was yesterday, right? With the R2D2 CPU. Everybody was complaining that they couldn't get a sample, you know what I mean? I didn't get one either. Been nice. Would have been nice. But I did find Steve from Unboxed making fun or look-alike, you know, doppelgangering Steve from Gamers Nexus. I thought his second video was quite funny with the thumbnail right there. I mean, the locks, man, you can't not understand and notice the locks. But yeah, so with the TR200 back on the case, of course. Hi, how can I join your giveaways? Well, you have to be a follower here on the channel. We are on both Twitch and on YouTube. Just to mention, I see that you're commenting from YouTube. But if you just type !Waffle in the YouTube chat, you should get a confirmation just like Soul did right there, saying that you've received an entry for the weekly waffle. And then all you need to do is hang out and wait for waffle time, which we had a timer. It broke. Things happen. Welcome to streaming. But it's coming up soonish. We usually do it about an hour and a half-ish after the stream. We've been streaming for what, like a little over an hour now? So be coming up. But you do have to be here for that. But if you do type !Waffle, like a lot of the others are doing, or if you can see that, you can get in on it. But US and Canada residents only. I am very sorry. Again, we cannot do international. We cannot do international. But we got a lot of waffle prizes if you can participate. Get in on that. We got rules. We got giveaways. We got all the fun stuff. Yes, sir. Hey, look, they still work. Let's go. Bahama. All right, so I didn't feel too bad with the cable management. I thought it was pretty quick and easy. Got it done between last stream and this stream, and it just kind of made me think of a couple of things. You know, I did a little mounting of the graphics card to see what was going on, but I haven't had a chance to mount the AIO and get all that stuff going. I think, yeah, we still even got the plastic here on that, so we got to make sure we take that off before we mount it up, or you're all going to make fun of me, you know what I mean? But, oh yeah. But either way, we got the AIO to install, as well as the graphics card, and just get the rest of the panels back on the case. So we're pretty much done. But I wanted to take the time over the last couple of streams to kind of talk about some of the unique features of this. This case is very different in a way from a lot of the other cases that we've made. I love the little shape that it has. It has some very unique features that a lot of cases don't have, like, at all, or, you know, just other stuff to make the smaller box a lot more fun. So TR200, 4 options with this one: black and white, wood or no wood. Got wood, Thermaltake does, and you can have yours. So get yours today. $100, I think, right? Did I say that right? I think it's $100. Something like that. It's on our website. It's on our website. It's not $300. Gosh. Now, you know, another thing too, with cable management, the other thing, I was just like, you know, this would have been something that I thought would have been neat if I could do it before that. But like, you know how like you'll have right down here, right behind the fan, you know, you got that HD audio connection, you have ARGB, or your 5-volt ARGB connection is usually on the bottom down around there too. So trying to plug that in with the fan in there was a little bit of a tight space for me. And funny enough, as I was going to plug it in, I was just thinking, man, it'd be really cool if I could take the floor out right now. But at the same time, it's more or less connecting the fans from the floor into the floor of the case. So it was one thing where I was like, oh, I could almost do that. But at the same time, then I would have to, you know, have a bunch of loose cables there, and it wouldn't. I mean, but it is convenient. I mean, I guess if you can plug it in ahead of time before putting the floor back in, definitely something to consider. The other thing too, I got to say, is putting the AIO in like next to last is a great option for this case, because it gives you this entire sunroof up here to be able to run all your connections, like your EPS, you know, your PWM, you know, all the stuff that goes along the top where that AIO and fan's sitting down about right here would just get in your way.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
Let's go.
Guess what day it is?
I'm going streaking.
Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Marlon
Chef
coming in
Marlon
with the
just
11.
resubbed for 11 months.
21.
I'm going streaking.
21 months. I appreciate the 21 months. Why is it that we say 22, 33, 44, but we call 11 and not 1E1? I feel that we should consider 1E1 to be a thing. I think 1E1 is pretty hilarious because there's 22, there's 33, 44, 55, 66, 77. Yeah, and then 1E1. Yeah, how, would it be a single word? Happy 1E1. Appreciate it. But yeah, everything aside, we're pretty much ready to go. We have the AIO to mount. Found out a fun little fact too with the back panel. Definitely going to be sharing that in regards to the LB360. I had some woes about mounting this, but realized I was doing it completely wrong. Whoa. So now that I figured out how it works, I'm definitely a lot more happier, and I think you will be too. But we got our back plate to put on and start getting our AIO mocked up, you know, as well as just getting all the rest of the stuff in there and all that. I do need to still situate my Gen 5 cable. I think the one thing that I noticed when I was doing a little bit of a mock-up between streams was that the card is pretty thick. I mean, let's be honest, the cards are not getting smaller. And if you want to put some pretty big performance in your little box here, I definitely want to show you the maximum capabilities of it. But it's not about the card length per se, but more or less about the gap that you have from card to fans on the bottom and running this particular cable. Now, of course, you have options where you could run the card like it is here underneath, you know, and then have the cable more or less going in between the card and your fans. But I was kind of concerned about a little bit of, you know, cable rubbage, little grindage going on. And I don't want to plug this in and torque it back where I feel comfortable that I'm, one, not rubbing up against the fans on the GPU to the point where it stops it completely and I just didn't notice, or with any of my nice little intake fans that are just slapping that graphics card with some nice, cool airflow. So, couple of different things to consider. I was going to show you guys that when we get around to it. I think it's a little bit of a tight space as far as fitting it that way. But then at the same time, with where I ran the connection, I could run the connection a couple other ways over on the side to bring it over across the top and in. So you guys will be the judge as far as what you like better. And I'll show you the differences between the two, because I feel it's a little bit of a tight gap with the fans on the bottom if your graphic card is a little too thick, you know what I mean? So results will vary, as they say in the PC world, based on your thickness. We were talking about rads earlier. That's what I'm referring to. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, just some fun little things. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. I should definitely talk about that. You know, we got our other panels. I'm trying to think, do I really need to can I just put the panels on, or do I need to not put, let me see. I don't think there's really no cables in the way or anything. So it's just, I feel the case is a little naked. So let's get this stuff plugged in. So of course, you know, this case does come with two panels. So you basically get the standard panel. This, of course, does come with a plastic insert if you don't want to purchase the screen. But I will be mentioning that we are looking on doing some specials with some new case combos that could include the screen coming soon. So if you're really interested in this case with this screen, I believe I've been hearing that there's a possible deal coming up for both, and you could save a little bit of money. So, hey, saving a little bit of money in 2026, I think, is important. So we may have, it looks like, not me, looks like we're going to be having soon like a little combo thing, give you a little break on the screen if you want to go with that option, and it'll be included with the case. It won't be like a bundle where it's like a box. It'll be pre-installed in the case. But either way, if you do want to buy that 6-inch screen, the little insert pops right out. It's just got some simple clips, and it is, you can put it back in. It's not one of those breakaway ones, right? It's got just little clips you just got to be a little careful with, you know what I mean? But yeah, popping the screen in, there are 4 screws on the back to secure them into place. And even with the little cutout here for the cable connection, the one thing that I got to give a recommendation is you have to plug the screen in before putting this panel back into the case. There is a little cutout right here. Look, it's an extra long right in the middle, perfectly sized here for that little 90-degree Type-C connector to be able to put the screen, to connect the screen up to, right? But I did notice that if you go to put the screen panel on already, it is a little tight in the back to be able to make sure you fully seat your connection. So instead, like as I was doing here and leaving this cable a little loose for right now, that gives me the ability to kind of pull that connection out nice and simple. And then I can just go right here and get my Type-C connection, get that nice little snap, goes in there, feels good, knowing that that's properly seated. And then that panel can then just go right on here, just like that. And then now I can just trim the fat on the excess cable, and I more or less have this here to work with to figure out how I want to then do the management for it. One thing I did forget to do though is I forgot to pull the screw out that I left in here because I didn't want to lose the screw for it. So I do need to take that out before we actually mount that. You know what I mean? Thick waffles need to be on that screen. I do agree. And I think that's one of the things I really like about the screen. You know, the other thing I was joking with about the screen was just like, you know, if you don't have or want to do that optical drive, you can kind of make this look like an optical drive. Or I want to get like a picture of an optical drive. It'd be even neater if it would like be animated and it almost looked like it was 3D, like it was like the tray was coming out. I was like, oh man, that'd be some cool stuff. But then I just like the fact that you have the nice old school optical drive option, which is what this is for. As you do get the additional little bracket like that guy right there to be able to slap in your physical media 5 1/4 optical drive. I have this one right here, top of the line, still IDE on the back with the jumpers and everything, right? Really bringing back the classics, but you know, being able to fit this right here and then having this, having an option like this instead and being able to have a physical drive there makes a nice little convenience for especially like media PC stuff. People want to do, you know, whatever you want to do, man. You got some old movies, you want to build a system for the garage kind of thing. We've been coming up with a lot of variety of examples of what use cases this case can be utilized for. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like a lot of the options with the case. Now, another thing too is front panel. Really, really simple. It has 4 clips on it, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. You have to press them in to release them from the front panel. And I mean, it's just, I mean, it's, guys, it's that simple to put it back on. Real easy. But just remember, as I've been saying, it's not one of those pull off type of panels. It's got the little tabs right here. And then you basically just gotta kind of get, I'm trying to see if I can do it with the cable, man, because I have a cable over here. Oh no, that's still not even in the way. And then just kind of go like this, and we can look on this. Oh, I didn't see this one. Suck. Oh no, yeah, I guess it was just kind of. It wasn't like caught on this by any chance, but I don't know. It's just gonna work. But either way, as you can see, it's super easy to take off and put back on. But it goes on a different way, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So you don't break the clips trying to take it off like a lot of cases are that have been for a very long time, right? Try to show you the differences. Would be cool if an old school car stereo CD player was screen. Dude, you get that Alpine and everything, little motor down. Like, you know how like the screen would come down and then you could put the disc in there and then it'd go back up like this. I mean, if you could only have the power, you know what I'm saying? Because AC power, DC power, you know what I mean? That's always a fun one to play around with. That's always a fun one to play around with, you know what I mean? But like... I think if anything, you could make like think about the old school Pioneers that had the dolphins, and you know that little digital dolphin screen that went across there. That would be something I'd maybe try to find online and slap on the screen there to kind of make it mimic or look like that. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see because I see it every now and then, you know, memes, whatever online, but like. Where could I find a file of that I could crop and then just slap in there to make it look like those? Was it Pioneer or was it Alpine that had the dolphins, like the blue dolphins? And it was like, yeah, bro, I got the dolphins in the truck. Got the dolphins in the truck. You'd be the coolest kid in high school with that. Absolutely, bro. And I'm not talking like, you know, we're not talking baller. Like you had that screen that popped up and everything like that. That thing that was definitely expensive, you know what I mean? But just, you didn't need that. I don't think that wasn't really a thing back then at the time, right? And to be fair, the law was a lot different back then. Oh man, Johnny Law come after you for the screens back then. Nowadays, everybody's car's got a screen. And they were telling me I was going to be distracted back when I was 16 driving around with one of those. You know what I mean? We were talking on our phones. There was no law with that. I mean, come on, man. What day is it, John? It is hump day, my friend. Mike. What day is it, Mike? It was Pioneer? Okay. I knew it was like one of those two. Well, no, I guess I did have one. I did have one. I had this really cool KVC head unit. And what I liked about it is it was a little bit taller wise as far as like the thing, but it had a little screen on the side. Let me see. Dude, I want to see if I can find that. Hold on, distracted. Squirrel. See if I can find. It's so old though. Oh, because everything's like big, wide. It had like a little screen on the side. So it wasn't a double din. It took up a single din. Let me see. Is it single din? Din? So much stuff has changed. Oh man, this is really taking me back. Do I see it? But like all these, dude, like all this stuff, right? Like if you could use this stuff today in one of these things, and I'm not talking like the extra wide ones where you had to cut out or get a different thing for the case. Oh man, I don't see it, dude. That was such a cool head unit. It was like this, but it was similar like this, but it was like it had like a little mini screen on the side. And then this whole thing rotated down to put the disc in, and it played DVDs, whatever. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool little thing. But it worked well for me. I think it worked well for me. Oh yeah, what was my waffle time at? Din? All right. Dude, less than 5 minutes on the waffle, guys. Holy crap, we need to build. Holy crap, we haven't done anything. All right. Okay, so we put the front panel and the screen on. We've done something. We've done something, let's be honest. But yeah, looking at the cable for the graphics card, you got options, go over the top or under through the bottom, but I'm definitely looking at going over the top being the benefit versus looping up underneath, because that space is really kind of tight right there. But let's get the AIO installed and then we can waffle. We'll get the AIO in and we'll waffle. Our waffle timer should run out here in just a little bit, but we will go into overtime just to give you guys a little bit. Yeah, let everybody get in. Come on, guys, get in here. Waffle up time. Waffle it up. The TT case mod entries are insanely good. Yes, I saw pictures today. They shared them on Global. I don't follow too much on what they were doing build-wise, you know what I mean? But some really cool builds. It's really neat to see what different people in different parts of the world do stuff, you know what I mean? TTC coming in. Appreciate the 3 months, my friend. Thank you so much for the tier 1. Thank you so much. Okay, so we talked about last week with this backplate. This backplate was kind of stressing me out because I was like, oh man, I don't have a way to be able to put these on here, but I wasn't paying attention. Lizard. Let me get this situated so we can see it. Here we go. Put you right in here. All right, so here's the back plate. So this is a different back plate. This is for the LB 360, our newer AIO cooler. And the one thing I was worried about was that this has to go behind the motherboard. I mean, you have 2 little peely sticks that secure that on there, so you're not, going and pushing this in and then popping this back off the back, especially if you want to lay the case down like this to be able to mount the AIO, right? So I was like, well, I could have peeled and I could have stuck this, and I was like, that's gonna probably hold it. I was a little worried about this because this would just kind of go on, but then it would fall back off. As you can see, it's very loose. And then it dawned on me, flip it around, because there is actually a little retention ring on the opposite side. The side, or this whole side, is smaller going in than it is on that side. And the only way I can really explain it is showing you that you have to push this on and then it stays on there, and then that's going to hold in. So being able to sandwich this in between the motherboard and the case, I have a lot more confidence with being able to hold this in, set my AIO down, use my little screws, because dude, this right here, putting it on the wrong way, that was what I was worried about. And then I realized I was putting these on backwards. Now, is this my fault? Kinda. Is this Thermaltake's fault a little bit for not explaining it? Absolutely. So be mindful when using this AIO that the little spacers are not necessarily spacers. Depending on which side you put it on, you can lock them in place and they're not going to go anywhere, meaning that you have them on correctly. Now, we could have added like a little arrow. This could have been something that would have been nice to explain here in the manual in regards, because I mean, it does show, that you can peel and stick this. Here's where you set the holes. You have right here on step number 3, showing those little guys going down in here. And then as you look on this, you'll see E and F. And then you'll see right here for E that an F, there's a 1700 and 1150X. And when I look at this, it's kind of confusing. It's the same circle, same hole, and you just kind of think, well, it's going to be for a different CPU socket as far as, like space-wise. And this is true, because here's the thing that confused me, right? Here's the thing that confused me. These exist. So these ones versus the black ones are for the 2 different sizes. So when I look at this one right here saying 1200 1150X with the blue ones, that's going to represent right here in the manual for F. and then thinking that if you have an 1150X, you have to use this. Because, yeah, I mean, this makes sense because this is a height thing, right? Like if I set these guys, I don't know if I can really kind of show you, but look, there is definitely a little bit of a height difference between the two LGA socket types. And this, of course, is just things that happen, and you just got to pay attention. So you use the right stuff because you don't want to gap out your cooler and make sure that it's making proper contact to the CPU. And we're not talking about just removing the sticker, folks. We're talking about actually making contact with the cooler. So you're not at 99C in the BIOS, right? So this kind of was like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense when I looked at this and everything, but we could have been a little bit clearer on the manual explaining the differences on which way you put it. So there you go. Showing you a quick little tip here when installing with this one or any cooler that runs these. If it seems like it's too, let's see, it's too loose on this side, flip it around and just make sure it goes on the other side so that it holds it in place, right? So definitely making it a lot easier for me to get this going. You know what I mean? Let's see. Waffle overtime. Hold on, refreshing. All right, Waffle overtime is here. We are in Waffle overtime. But yeah, I thought that was a unique little feature there with that. And I would say we could have explained that a little clearer on that. And I wanted to bring that up to help out with the fun little tip. If you're watching this and you're building this cooler, in whatever case, it's going to apply to that. Oh, appreciate the hydrate, my friend. Appreciate the hydrate. Thank you so much. Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and we'll get this bad boy in. We are in Waffle overtime. If you'd like to get in on our weekly giveaway, exclamation mark Waffle, exclamation mark all day waffles. Get in there on that if you want to win. You have to be here to be present. We should be doing this here in a little bit as soon as this AIO goes in. So if you're washing the car or walking the car or washing your dog and walking your car, or if you're stuck in traffic right now listening to me, trying to take your mind off of your terrible traffic you're going through, be ready to pull over if you waffle win it. You know what I mean? I don't want you getting a ticket waffling. You know what I'm saying? But this definitely, I mean, made a big difference for me being able to put the washers on with confidence, knowing that they're not just going to slide off on the littlest of vibrations, and give me a pretty good secure mount on there to hold the back panel in place. And you know, you got a lot of extra room back here, you know what I'm saying? And then I also had to use a Y adapter on the motherboard because funny enough, with this particular board, I had two PWM header connections right here on the top of the case, and there's literally nothing down this side. There is one here on the bottom over there, and then I literally have nothing else but the one that is right next to the M.2. So I was like, I could either go down here on the bottom and plug it in on the bottom as far as keeping it without an adapter. So still possible, you know what I mean? But I opted to do the 2-into-1 on the top so I could just keep the cable towards the top with the AIO. So that way, cable management wise, I'm not going top to bottom. You know what I mean? Let's change it up real quick. Let's get back over here to let's get some waffling going back on. Let me see. Yeah, it's almost waffle time. Almost waffle time. I got waffles on my mind. But yeah, power cable and all that. Now, this too, with the AIO, and we're going to drop this in. We'll have our 4 screws here to secure this in. I've got my fun little thermal paste right here as well. There's also these cool little clips for the tubes and everything like that. These I got these snap on This is something different that we've incorporated. And funny enough, it doesn't have a giant Thermaltake logo right here on this. But just to kind of clean up your tube runs a little bit, we'll see how well this helps us with the build once we get everything all situated. But let's see, we got anything else that we really got to worry about? I mean, I think everything else is pretty much in except for our AIO and the GPU. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy in here. I'm trying to think on where I want to run the cable just yet, but let's just do a little test fit. Let's do a little test fit here. I want to see that dropped in like a beauty, man. Wow. Okay. So not having any clearance issues. You can see there's still a good amount of room there with that, with how this goes, and this slides forward. So that's kind of more or less where I'm at. So I'm not pinching cables or anything like that. We also talked about having a little bit of a gap on how you mount your AIO radiator. So it's more forward than back, I guess. And this is all because of the tubes, because we got to take this AIO block and mount it on that CPU that's like right there. And that space is a little tight. I gotta be honest with you, as far as how I'm gonna loop this in here, you know, with these cables aside, right? Like when you look at this, it's like, how are we gonna wanna put this bad boy in here? You know what I mean? Let's put those spacers to the test and see how this goes. And if it doesn't work, then you know what? We'll just go back to the vertical way. But let's get this like this. We'll set our AIO in here so it doesn't get all banged up. And that way you guys can see. That way you guys can see. And then we'll get to waffling, I promise. And then we'll get to waffling, I promise. Okay. All right, so then you see what I'm saying in regards to this? We have to place this down. Now how you want to place it is also another thing. As far as like, are you just going to put the tubes like that and just kind of drop it in like that? I mean, that for the most part might work. I don't see the graphics card coming up too much in the way, and I have the rotary to
Mike,
be able
as
to
a
kind
car
of
guy, I'm surprised you never used fuel line spacers to keep your AIO hoses organized.
Well, to be fair, good, I gotta stick with what we sell. If I had the ability of using like an auto manufacturer's catalog, you would definitely see a different show, but I do appreciate that, because that would definitely be a car guy thing for sure. Well, Fancy Sunset coming in. Appreciate you following for 4 times. That was interesting that it popped up 4 times, but thank you. I don't know what was going on with that. But like, this doesn't look too bad. The one thing I was considering was like, do I need to go even further with like another turn and put this down like, say, let me see if I can get it to stay here. Hold on. If I can put like down like that, and then taking these tubes and kind of pushing it over and trying to, well, I guess it's kind of, positioning is a little weird here. Let me get, there we go. Get the position a little bit better for you guys. But like doing something like that, but that felt a little tight. Like too much rotation, you know what I mean? And I wasn't really sure if I wanted the wood necessarily there. And I think the other thing to consider too is the layout for the screen and the orientation of the screen. How is this up? Is this down? Is this front, back, side to side? I mean, what's going on here? So I can understand where people would be concerned of like, well, what's the orientation like? Well, you know, if you come back over to a fun little website, and then we kind of, where are we at? So then I'll come over here to this, and then this is what I'm looking at, and I go, okay, well, if the wood's on this side, then the TT logo's right side up, because this is not a screen. This is a static screen, but it's not rotatable. It doesn't have any of that kind of stuff because it's $90, right? So then I got to consider, I'm like, okay, well, that wood grain's want to be on the left, so it's not upside down. Even though I have no window and I'm not going to see it all the time, I still know that it's there. So I want to make sure that I do it right. You know what I mean? I feel a lot of you guys on this, and I think a lot of you agree too. So, oh, whoops. Go back here to this, and then more or less have that same kind of layout there. And I mean, I have some room to play with the tubes a little bit. Is it going to get in the way of the graphics card? Well, we'll have to find out. I mean, it's a little close. I don't think it's going to make or break much for me, but this is a nice, comfortable. I don't have a lot of stuff going on. This isn't like spun around like 4 times and everything like that. You know what I mean? Your GPU is not going to like those hoses there. Well, I mean, the thing is that these are rotatable, and I'm trying to not like push this thing through. So hopefully I didn't. Yeah, everything's still pretty seated. Well, I'm a little pushed down on 1 or 2 of them, but you know, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Well, let's go ahead and get this bad boy mounted so we can waffle it up, baby. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know, I'm just using the free paste. We're not doing any particular type of testing today with this. No thermal testing on this today, so we're just mocking it up. But we're going to hope it boots by the end, that's for sure. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll drop this in. Now, I don't want to, a lot of times I'll do a smush and I'll give a good amount of pressure. I'm not doing too much of that right now because I want to get these screws in so that way I'm not pushing my back plate through the back, if that makes sense. So I'm just being a little cautious here on this until at least I can get some threads on each one of these, you know, standoffs. Just a couple of turns, man. Just a couple of turns. Nothing too crazy. What is this, a boot? You're a boot. Go default yourself in the BIOS and come back for waffles. I dropped one. Oh, well, I got 2 more. Dude, I hate when I do this. Oh, look. Saved it. Saved it. Let me see if I can just move this tube. Got to push that tube over a little bit. But still a good amount of working space here. Then I got, what was it? This one over here. And please, do not just put the first one on and wrench it all the way down. Get a little bit on a lot. Get all 4 of these guys started before you start going back and tightening these things down. Come on, guys. You know better. And just don't drop the screw. Don't drop the screw. It will fall in the CMOS jumpers. M.2 screws actually cease to exist if you drop them. You know, they are kind of invisible. You know, one of the good things that I've liked about M.2s is the way they've changed so much in mounting into motherboards. I mean, this is kind of like the older design where this one has, you know, just a single screw like this. But I really like a lot of the newer ones where it's just the little spin lock, you know, that Asus did. MSI's got some stuff. Gigabyte's got some stuff. They all got some really cool, like, new ways where it makes it more or less toolless now to do that. And then, of course, we're just going to go corner to corner, just securing this down. Now that we got at least a little bit of grab, and I'm not worrying about the, you know, the back plate like freaking out or popping loose or gapping out and stuff like that. All right. Let's do a quick little check. Now that we got our AIO mounted in here, we'll go and we'll look on the back. Just make sure that that back plate looks good. You know, this is not gapped out or it's shifted or whatever. You know, you have a nice, it's flat up against it, if you know what I mean. Make sure that's all good to go. And there we go. Let me make sure I do, because if I waffle, I'll forget. So let me make sure I got this down really good. And then we can move on to the rest after waffling. Good. Now, there's no particular torque spec for this. I mean, these are not ones where I would say they necessarily go down and finish or like lock. I'm kind of putting a good amount of pressure on this. It's not going to take a crazy amount. And then, yeah, we're just going to have to figure out how we want to wrap our cables around the side over here. And then, you know, what we want to do with the tubes. Because, I mean, we have some options with the tubes as far as what we're going to do. But we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out and see what's going on. Whoa. Oh. But the important question is, has everybody waffled? because we're running out of time and we need to get going on this. And I don't want to see nobody saying, did I come in late for the waffle? But I missed it. No, I haven't screwed the AIO in, or as far as the rad on the top. This bad boy is still loosey-goose in the case, right? So I just got to remember to at least slap a screw in there before we do too much. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's coming together. We'll see how the GPU fits with the tubes and how everything's all going to go. I mean, it's your AIO, your way, as far as how you want to do it. At the end of the day, it's just a closed panel with perforation, no window. So you ain't going to see too much, but it's still there, right?
Don't let this distract you from the fact that ThermalMike is going to be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines, and on top of that, he just went into Harry's and bought 3 T66 turbos with nose and a mATX exhaust system.
Good old Harry's. Yes. That's right. Oh, man. Family. You guys are my family.
With lots of syrup.
Waffles, lots of syrup. But yeah, AIO's in. We're pretty much almost there. Again, it's like the holes that you see. I mean, yeah, I could throw some storage there, and that's going to close up that one hole that you see towards the back there with like the storage and everything. But again, it's hard to wrap my head around that. That's going to be just a solid panel. You ain't going to see any of that anyways. And I think you'll be seeing that here very soon once we get this bad boy booted up, or at least hoping it boots. A boot. All right, are we all in? You want a 600 mil AIO? Hell yeah. Well, that would be, because dude, like it's a weird size. What, you talking like 5 or 6 fans across? You just want some big wall of rad fans? Turn tuna on waffles, no crust? That's an interesting one. Tuna on waffles. I haven't heard that one before. Can we wager on post later? Yeah, good. I can do that. I'll see if I do it right. I don't know. I haven't done that in a while. Car AIO. Right? I mean, where do you think AIO's got the idea from? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, my goodness. Look what they've been doing with car audio for all this time. All right. Last minute wafflers. Nobody likes the tuna here. All right. Are we all waffled in? I might do this. Oh, 3x200. Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because like 200 mil fans are 180 mil size on a rad, because those fans are bigger than the mounting points. So it's like a single 200 AIO, or like a single 200, it's like a 180. A 360 is a dual 200. I don't know what a triple 200 would be. If a 360 is 2, I guess you just 180 times 3. You know what I mean? So one of those things. But I haven't seen one. I don't know if anybody did somebody make one of those? Alpha Cool might be. Oh yeah, okay. So Ring 200 fits on an Alpha Cool 400. Yeah, no, I bet it does. It's just that outer housing and how it mounts to the case, right? How many cases offer 200 mil fan rads? You know what I mean? It's very, very slim. I just build your own case at that point. You know what I mean? But I get it. 200 mil fans. Ugh. All right, dude. I keep wanting to give away, but people keep waffling. Are we done yet? Get in here. Are we good? We good? We got a lot of waffles today. I want to make sure everybody is waffling in. Waffling it in. You need to waffle up. Let's go. Come on. Come on.
Lizard.
Waffle it up.
Tasty waffles with lots of syrup.
We're trying to do a giveaway here. We ain't got no pancakes here.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
Oh my God, more wafflers. Come on, get in here. Come on, we gotta close the doors. We gotta close the door. The concert's gonna start. Laugh out loud. The worst part about AI music is I would have listened to it in high school. All right. We're closing. We're closing the waffle doors. That's what we about. It does, dude. I love All right, Pantera's the last one. Pantera's the last waffler. Closed. Closed. That's it. That's it. All right. Song's over. Thing's over. Are you ready? Are you ready to waffle? All right, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a golden waffle ticket.
It is a waffle time.
I can't believe
Oh, is that little Billy? Did he
Left
get a
hump,
golden
right hump,
waffle
left
ticket?
hump, right hump, left hump, right hump, left hump, right hump.
That's right. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Let's go. All right. It is waffle time. Welcome to the Waffle Arena. Hope you enjoy basking in the glorious Mount Waffle. Taking a clear, beautiful look at Mount Waffle Falls. We got TT Dude Lifeguard here on duty in case anybody drinks too much syrup in the syrup pool, right? You don't want to drink the water, okay? Don't drink the water. TT Dude right here, he'll find you. He'll save you. He'll pull you out. He's got a butter raft and he's got a waffle boat. You know, that's how it goes. Mount Waffle Fall, Mount Waffle. Mount Waffle. All right, here we go. We got our waffle ready. Are you ready to win? Okay. Here we go. Wait a second. Winners. Who's going to be the winner? Winner. Are you here? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Albert OG 007. Albert OG 007 over on YouTube. Albert over on YouTube. We got a big YouTube win. Albert OG 007. I didn't know you could put dashes in your YouTube name. That's cool. Albert, are you there? Please confirm you are a meat popsicle. Here I am, he says. Oh, wrong one. Let's go. Congratulations, Albert. Glad you are with us for some waffling. Are you ready to get waffled, Albert? You say spin it and you're gonna win it. Finger is on the trigger, my friend. Good luck to you. Say when. Spin it, he says, let's go. Come on, baby. Big money. Come on. Hey, coming in with some OnlyFans. Congratulations on winning some fans from Thermaltake. Visit our OnlyFans page for all the fans, the OnlyFans you shall need. Get some magnets. My friend. Take a look. Have any questions? Let me know. Thank you so much. All right. It really is OnlyFans on that page. It really is. I'm not lying. All right. 200 mil fans are on there too. Yeah, I think so. Still, maybe like the last page, Rob. It's like the last page. You know, back when we started the first fan in 99. I'm just kidding. It doesn't go back that far. Congrats, Albert. All right, one more. One more. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Arrowland over on Twitch. We got a YouTube Twitch winner, split winner chicken dinner. Arrowland, congratulations. Nice. Let's go. We got people here. Cheesy says L. He didn't win the waffle today. Next week, baby. Next week. Damn it, I thought it was me. Oh, because the name is so similar. I'm sorry. Congratulations, Arrowland, on winning the waffle. Fingers on the trigger. You say spin it. You're going to win it. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Let's see. We'll have a big one. We have something powerful. Maybe a TT Store gift card for $200. You never know. A nice headset or keyboard. We'll see what comes up. Fingers on the trigger, Arrowland. Just say when. Go! He says go! Let's go! Come on. Ooh, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh, back-to-back fans. Almost got that TT Store. Back-to-back fans. Congratulations, you guys. It looks like we're all going to the OnlyFans page today for our waffle wins. Congratulations, you guys. Feel free to take a look at some fans. Got some great options in there. Great options in there. Take a look. It's your prize, your way here at Thermaltake Live. We're the only live stream manufacturer that allows you to pick what you want to win that I know of. If somebody else is doing it, you got to let me know. I think we're the only ones to offer this. Feel free, guys, go visit right over here. I got it right here. OnlyFans page has OnlyFans. Dude, you could get the new fans too. We got the new fans up. I believe these are already in stock. Are they sold out? Damn, they're sold out already? All right, well, they got to be in stock. If you want these, I can check for, oh, these are in stock. Okay, what is it? The 140s are sold out? Oh, they might not be here yet. The 120s are in stock though. But these, you got the new ones. You can go with a tough fan, a pink fan, a poop fan, a purple. Wait, we don't have purple. Sorry. 200 mil fans. If Good or Rob won the fan prize, I would only assume you were going to get one of these and that is it. How dare you try to pick 140? Stay cool, but a lot of options in here, guys. Take a look. Absolutely can pick a 3-pack. It's not all about singles. Enjoy, have some fans, get some nice cooling on us for sitting back and waffling with us on a Wednesday, man. Let's go. Let's go. Love the waffling with you guys each and every week. Of course, we will be back with more waffling next week with you. Of course, always. Well, hopefully. We should be. Should. Sure. I'm going to have to find a better AI than this. This is like one of my favorites now because the perspective of the camel. All the other ones were so different. He's so chill and laid back. He's got his syrup. He's got waffles on the, I mean, this is like a night, an evening gaming heaven for me. Giant screen. Got my TR200 wood series chilling over there with fans that don't exist, but they're still there because I modded it. And then I got my mouse and keyboard right here. I could literally sit here. Let me see. Can I get my hands? Just chilling, baby, with my Thermaltake. Got my Thermaltake center speaker right here. This one was so good. This one was so good. I love the signs and all that, dude. At least it spelled it correctly. That's the one thing AI's been driving me nuts, is spelling Thermaltake all wrong. You know what I mean? All right. Congrats again to the Waffers. Please make sure you shoot me a DM on Discord to verify that you are a meat popsicle. And we'll get those, we'll get you the info, and we'll get those prizes shipped out your way. All right. All right. Let's see. A little twisted. Get a little twisted. All right, let's get this done. Let's get this done. Thermal Taco on Tuesdays. When we stream on Tuesdays, it's all Thermal Taco all the time. All Thermal Taco. Wait, does TT make any wireless keyboards? We make one, and I personally, it's an older style. I wouldn't really necessarily recommend it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to disconnect it. But from what we had at CES, this has literally been my daily driver since I stole it. I stole the floor sample, and I've been using this every day. And I adapted from a standard 110 keyboard to this, and I'm loving it. I love the size of this. The thing is heavy AF, which is fantastic because it doesn't slide around on my desk. It gives me more mouse over here. And you know, I see the people, I mean, I'm not doing this stuff. We ain't doing this or doing some weird backwards, whatever. You know what I mean? I ain't into that. I'm old school. WASD, my Crimson Deserting's been going hard with this. But not yet. Not yet. I was trying to get an update on our new keyboard that has really no official name just yet, but we have a variety of these. This being the retro version, little Nintendo-esque a little bit, but not too far for a lawsuit. But then we also have like a black one and a white one as well. And dude, oh, so good. So good. Soon, I'll probably have a bigger update for this keyboard at Computex. At least that's what I'm hoping. So stay tuned for that. And even though I have it plugged in wired, it is a wireless keyboard. I think it's got like a 4,000 milliamp. It could be larger, but I can't remember because I don't remember exactly, but it's good. Same with the mouse. I'm using the mouse that goes with it. We have a retro mouse, real light and simple. I don't think that the mouse is going to be too expensive, but I think the keyboard's definitely going to be a little bit more because of the newer features with it. But I really like it. Like I said, I've been using it daily, and I want it now. I want it now. I want another one for home and probably get another one for something else, for some other system or whatever, because I'm an addict too, you know, got a little problem with PCs and everything, but it was a big change for me. I've been on a 110 numpad central, memorized that, you know, sitting there doing the skew up stuff, all the Thermaltake part numbers, having to type in all those numbers and everything. That numpad has been clutch for me. Memorized the you know what out of it for a long time. So that right there really changed a lot for me. I think the biggest one still for me is the shift key's a little small under enter. It's a little bit different, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Good. Nice, man. Nice. I mean, there's a lot of things. I want my number pad. Unpopular opinion. Oh, yeah, and I get that. I think it was probably the hardest thing for me was to like try to forget that the numpad existed. You know, and adapt to having the numbers just in a row, like a linear row on the top. That was probably the hardest change for me to adapt to, but I'm good. I'm good. I mean, literally a couple months, it didn't really seem to phase me too much. My Argent M5 finally stopped clicking right. So does that mean, I don't know what that means. Did it break? I've beaten up M5s like crazy without too many issues, but I can understand stuff can happen. As a man with big old slappers for hands, can you tell us if the mouse will accommodate my comically large palms? Well, you know, that depends a lot on if you're a palm guy or a claw guy. I think that's the bigger thing. Because like for me, I don't have fat hands, but I got long, giant 6'5" fingers. People, you know, big hands for a mouse. So, like with this being the mouse that we have, I mean, it's wireless or wired. I usually run this wired most of the time. I plug it in wirelessly just because I'm on stream and everything. But like, you know, Everything's working for me good. It's got good range on it. It's light. It's really light because I'm a final mouse guy, so I'm really about really light mouses, but mine doesn't have cool little diamonds on it like Summit 1G, you know what I mean? But the one thing that about this mouse, let me see, I'll give you a solid here, man. Give you a solid here. We got to get this damn thing built. But like, I would say, like, look at the rub on this. Look at that. I mean, it's not dirty, but like this is what I do. I got to be careful clicking too on this because I am plugged in. I don't want to end stream by accident. But like, some people are more of like a palm like this, right? Where the fingers go over the front like that, and you're kind of clicking almost here versus here. I am more of like a person like this. And I like this type of space, and it gives me a pretty good feel in regards to this. I mean, as you can see, it's a sample. It has no logos or anything. You know, it's got your little, where your little USB duder would go, which I have plugged in because it is working wirelessly. Well, I turn it off, but like, I think a lot of that really kind of depends on if your claw or palm with it, but it does give me a good vibe to one of our larger mices that we offer, like the Iris and some of the other editions that we got. So take a look. I think the biggest thing for me too is that we finally got rid of micro USB and everything's on Type-C now, which it has to be, man. It's all on Type-C now. So it's just the Type-C-ness is really nice. Both the keyboard and the mouse are Type-C. I could literally have just one cable and kind of charge both randomly. I haven't really experienced too much use of a wireless keyboard for input lag and stuff like that. I am waiting on a final version of the keyboard because I'd like to get the MP sample for testing, you know, not just use like one of the first engineering samples or anything, but it works. And it's been working, and it's been solid for me, knock on wood, underneath my mouse pad, for the use for it and everything. But we got to get back on this TR2. We got to get back on this. But no, I good stuff, man. And yeah, I no more. I mean, some good feedback for the guys over in Taiwan when we go back to visit for Computex is, let's just get rid of micro USB. I don't want to see micro USB anymore. I'd love to see more Type-C stuff. I mean, isn't it just nice knowing that it doesn't matter which, it just plugs in? It's not like, oh, you got a 50-50, that 50-50 shot, man. It's just, yeah. It's just, yeah. Now, back on the system build here. Back on the system build here. Now, remember, there was a single cable that was coming off of our 3 fans that we had mounted. It is pre-installed on the AIO, but depending on which way you put it, it's going to determine which side that cable's on. The good thing is it's just a couple of screws. It takes literally 30 seconds to flip it around to the other side, depending on which side you want the cable on. Of course, with this, we have the cable on the back side of the case so that we could run this down. And then this is a little different. Normally, you would see 2 independent or separate wires, but this is running on a ribbon wire that's a single wire that more or less gives you the little split right here. And then the nice thing about this is that you can separate it more for your distances and keep it nice and clean. So with stuff like this, where I have my PWM and then I have my 5-volt ARGB, it's really going to kind of determine where that ARGB is on the motherboard port, as well as where you're plugging in all your other stuff on the back, right? Or not necessarily on the back, but looping through the back, plugging into the front. Now, one option I could do with this is that I have my ARGB already plugged in for my other fans. And with this, I do have a little extension where I can just basically separate this and plug right into here. But that would require me running this cable all the way down here over to this side. Now, it's up to you on how you want to go about it, and it also definitely is determined by how the motherboard specs out. Now, I mean, a lot of motherboard cases, upper right corner, you're going to get that ARGB or lower bottom, either left side, middle side, or to the right. I mean, I've seen it in a couple of different places on the bottom, you know what I mean? But usually that upper right side has been pretty tried and true for that ARGB or that 5-volt connection for your lighting for the fans. And then the other thing that's nice too is that the PWM is usually pretty close on that same area, just the same. So we take a quick little look at our motherboard and we kind of look in here and boom, it's right there. We have the 5-volt right there in the corner. And again, like I said, this is for the AIO. So it's not like you can do this before the AIO is in a way technically installed. But one of the reasons why I didn't screw the radiator in just yet is because now, even though I've mounted the tubes and everything, and even though I have the cable already wrapped through, where'd it go? I got a good amount of length on this. It's not anything where it's going to be short or in the way. I can kind of take my AIO, maybe offset it a little bit so I can get a top-down view on how to plug some stuff in, or it can just fall right back into the case and I could do it either way. But it kind of gives you some cool little options with it. Let's see if I can give you a cool little bird's eye view of this. I was doing this in rehearsal. I don't know how well it's going to work out, but we'll find out here. So let's see. So like something like this where now I have, well, I guess you can't tell. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, just do that. Get you farther forward here. 1 secondarino. Well, that might be a little too close, but you know, we like to dive in here. But dude, look how simple this is. So I just take this out like this. Kind of let it chill like that there. Have my cables like this right here, right? Simple, easy. I got the PWM back here. That's the easiest thing. Plug that in, and then still, you kind of pull this away. You might want to not separate it just all the way right off the bat because you want a nice clean single cable like that. But let's just tuck it in. And let's see, where's a good place to go with this? We can just literally run it right through here. Just look for, I just trying to do this talk. Let me just plug it in. Right here on the side. But look at how convenient this is. As I still struggle. Wait, I got it. I swear I got it. Nope, there we go. So then, being able to have like that nice little top-down view, being able to have my hand coming in here to plug this in as a last-minute connection, and just having the flexibility of this bracket and how everything is. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, what else could you, if it was like wireless, I guess that would be better. I mean, and then now I can just take this bad boy. I can just drop it in here because it was a fast machine. Kept the motor clean. And then I can just, a little slack right there and I'm done. I'm done. And then now it's in. There's single screw here. Lock this bad boy in and you're good to go. You're good to go. So I like that. It's a little bit different because with the AIO, this one in particular, we put the fan cable in the middle. It's not on one end or the other on like how a standard fan would be. So with that being in the middle, I got that nice little convenience of extra space. I mean, it's not much of a cable to worry about how I'm gonna wrap it around and tuck it in here with my little bundle that I got anyways. And nice and central location with the PWM and that 5-volt ARGB right here in the upper corner. And I'm even splitting up the LEDs, so half down here, half up here. I don't want to put too many LEDs on my ARGB port because motherboards have limitations, like 120 LEDs max per header, or even total for that matter. And it's gotten better. But I mean, fans with ARGB have definitely expanded a lot. And you know, those LEDs start adding up when you got 10 or more LEDs per fan and you're running a variety of fans in here. You know what I'm saying? But you know, for the most part, I mean, we're only sitting about around 70 LEDs, so it shouldn't really be too much of a problem. It's more or less convenience for the cable management. So your cable, your way. Or just go with no RGB altogether, because why? You know what I mean? But there we go. Now we have that situated. We still do need to plug in 2 more things, and that is going to be for the AIO pump. Again, something you have to more or less do after installing the AIO, because it's just not really, you can't plug it in before you install it. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to deal with that a little bit. Now, this is going to be a little different too. And the reason why I say this is because on this particular AIO cooler, you're going to, of course, have the PWM for the pump. So you got to find a place for that. The micro ATX could have some limited spots. I still got another spot down on the bottom, so I'm not really too bad with that. But then at the same time, this one is very different too, because this one, instead of having like that little micro USB cable that would then go to the header, this is literally just a straight cable that goes to a 2.0 header. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run these cables around through the back, and then I'm gonna bring them up underneath through the bottom. And because they're pretty much the same length, this will work pretty good where I plug this into the USB 2.0, and then this will go in for the last, or more or less last, PWM header that I have available on the motherboard, besides the one that's like right in the middle on the M.2, which, how do you cable manage that? You know what I mean? How do you even cable manage that? Fan boxes with Type-C when, you know, I definitely see stuff like that being a thing once like they cycle out like the next phase. I think the weird part is that like the convenience of like controllers for RGB and all that. I mean, you just plug it in and you shouldn't have to touch it again. It shouldn't be something you have to go back and go back and go back and touch it and everything. That should not be the case, right? So see how it goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this around. Now again, same thing with like if that AIO rad's in the way, just lift this bad boy up so you can route your cables around. I'm gonna go the old school way and just try to feed it on through. I'm gonna try to give it the little old feed on through here. Close your eyes and just feel around. Just close your eyes and feel around. You'll find it. I found it. And there we go. But nice little cutouts on the top of the case. I like that they're more elevated, like above where the AIO is. So you literally barely see the cables right here. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, let's just, I could probably run it under, I should have ran it underneath. You know what? It's a live stream. You guys aren't going to get mad at me. Well, maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But then, and this is why I haven't plugged the graphics card in just yet. If you feel me on that, the last thing I want is that giant brick of a card being in the way for my last minute connections. Pull these bad boys up through here. Let me just, I should be able to just, yeah. I got the PWM right here on the bottom. We'll plug that in first. Boom. And then we got the USB 2.0 header. Where is the pinhole? It is there. And I think the funny part too is that, like, you know, any of these cables that are going to be kind of exposed, like in the beginning, again, like it matters, right? Because you're not going to see it. But any of those like cables that then would be like exposed like that, the gigantic graphics card is going to cover it up and make it look nice. But yeah, there you go. I mean, more or less running those last minute cables, one for the fan so you can get that situated with the RGB. And then there are 2 connections again off of the AIO, one for the pump and the other one for the USB 2.0, which will be the screen. So remember, you're going to utilize both of your 2.0 RGB headers. One of them is going to go for your 6-inch screen up here, and the other one is going to go for your static screen on your AIO or other things, because the case doesn't have 2.0. You get 2 3.0s and a Type-C. You're welcome. You know, you need USB 2.0, you got it back here on the AIO. You know what I'm saying? I like the more streamlined 2 3.0s and a Type-C than like 2 3.0s, 2 2.0s, and a Type-C and all that extra stuff. You know what I mean? SFF PSU for more AIO accommodations. Dude, now see, that was another thing that I was considering as well, was like, you know, because it's about the length of that as far as getting the optical drive to fit in there, but then like looking at like the space, like that space that's right there, like could I have still fit the optical drive in there anyways, kind of thing, if I'd lowered the power supply down. But it's where the hole is on the case, right? I mean, it is what it is. It was close. We could have made a couple more options for a variant with that, but then this would have had to have changed, right? So is what it is. But if you want to play around with it and do what you want to do, have a blast. You know what I mean? All right. Last thing here. Graphics card. At least I think, yeah. I mean, we got our little tube clamp, guys. We can... I don't know if these are going to help me or whatnot, but whatever. We'll play with those in a minute. But all right, so AIO, or not AIO, but expansion slots. So with micro ATX, you get a variety of these, not your normal elongated ones. I mean, you get 5, pretty standard for micro ATX, you know, versus like 3 that you get for mini, which basically gives you only 2 ports then for the graphics. So let's go ahead. I think we should be taking the top 3 off. That should be all that we need. I don't think it's that thick. I mean, there's 3 prongs on here. So we go off the 3 prongs. You could do a 280, but I think the 280, I can't remember if the 280 still supports. I think it's 240 only. I don't know if you can do the 280 with the optical. I'm not 100% sure if it said that. Oh, we'll check right now. We'll check right now. But I think for what people are going to be utilizing it for, it's not too bad of a takeaway, but I can still understand because it is a takeaway for having optical versus bigger AIO, right? I mean, you could always go air cooling and not worry about it. You know what I mean? Especially for something like this, depending on what you're going to do. Don't necessarily have to go AIO. You know what I mean? So got options there. What you want to do, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's get our tubes up and out of the way so we can get our card in here. Now, the one thing that I was looking at initially was like, hey, is this thing going to fit? Is it going to be long? Is it too long? But like looking at the space, look at the gap I got. Plenty extra room. This is not a small GPU, right? But the one thing that I'm concerned, well, here, let me just plug it in so I can show you guys this. And then we got to change the cable on it and everything. But the one thing is, as you can see right here, if I wanted to run my Gen 5 cable on the underside of the graphics card, you know, sag aside, because I haven't gotten the bracket, you know, engaged per se or whatever, but you see right here with fans on the bottom and then of course the fans on the graphics card, I wouldn't recommend running this on the bottom like this and plugging it in. I think you could do it, but I think you can also see that gap's a little too small for most of us when you're considering the Gen 5 cable and all the heatness and the concern there. The last thing I want to do is give you more concern about the cable. Granted, I've seen pretty much, I don't think I've ever seen an issue with our cables like burning. I honestly haven't. So, but you know, stuff could happen. Maybe stuff I didn't see per se. I mean, I know stuff happens to power supplies out there, but like, dude, there's been some horror stories with these Gen 5 cables. And of course, you know, we went with that matcha stuff. So that way it's kind of like, you know, it gives you some kind of color indication. But with that in mind, with the way I initially thought of this, I'm going to want to move this cable to one of the other side ports like over here and have this kind of come up and over the top and plug in. Makes a little bit more sense. But let me just check. I want to double check on that because I wasn't sure. And that's a great question. Fast as they can. And I mean, you can see even right here, I don't know if you can see in the photo. Oh, wait. Keyboard working? Wait. Oh, did I turn it off? Oh, no more keyboard. Stream's over. What did I do? Maybe I plugged the Type-C in backwards. Hold on. Let me flip it around. I'm sitting here talking about how good this thing is, and it does this to me. And it does this to me? Wait, did I turn it off? Because I think I freaked out and I turned it off. The problem is that there's no markings on this. What GPU am I using? It's a Zotac. Oh, it's working. No. I don't need help. I don't need your help. Okay, there we go. I think I turned it off because I was worried I was gonna close the stream. All right, this is this big chonker of a card. This is the Zotac. It's a gaming. I think it is a 40. Is it a 4080? Where's the freaking number on this thing? RTX, solid, OC, white, blah, 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 blah. 4080, 4090, something like it's a 4080, 4090. Thick card though, pretty big. I mean, the case supports up to 365, I believe, as far as where's it? Fan AIO. Storage, GPU 365, so 365 millimeter lengthwise, right? As far as and what the did you ask? Good, trying to remember. I scroll with my middle finger. You scroll with your middle finger? Oh my god, I don't. I scroll with my index. Like I have to take my finger off of the left click. I don't. I like trying to scroll. That's like middle finger scrolling. And then this is index scrolling. So yeah, I don't know, man. I that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, it is literally a block is what it looks like. The hell was I gonna look up? I already forgot. I can't even scroll with my index. It feels weird. I feel the same about my middle finger. Does anybody else scroll with their middle finger or ring finger for that matter? Anybody pinky scrolling? I wouldn't see you be pinky scrolling, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. What was I gonna check? What was I gonna check? I forgot. I already forgot. Because it's Wednesday. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Laugh out loud if you say so. All right. Was about the thickness of the card? What was it? What was I going to check? I already forgot. You guys got to remind me. I already forgot. Sorry. Too many things. So little time. So I got to kind of, not necessarily wire, but I got to pull this guy back out, and we're going to route him a different way. This was a lot easier with the floor out. I'll tell you that. Also something a psycho would say. Let me see if, because I tucked, I serious tuckage right here with these cables. But I think the good thing is I did not zip tie them all in here and strap them down where I'm cutting zip ties left and right. So that's always a good thing. Oh, lookout weekend. I think I just got to get it past. Dude, I got such a cool little thing in there. Let me get my cable grabber here. My cable grabber. AKA a screwdriver. Oh man, my cable management. Now see, this is another thing too, is that I don't really like doing a bunch of zip tieage and zip tying and all that stuff until I know everything works. And then I go back and do it. Like I'll literally build a system, and I mean, I might bread box. I usually do in the past with a lot of custom cooling stuff. I'm literally just putting the motherboard on the motherboard box, just plugging stuff in. I want to make sure it all works. Not necessarily trying to find out what the coolest temperature is going to be, but just making sure everything can go under load. Maybe I'll slap an air cooler on it. Or just like having like an AIO off to the side, you know, just block, and then the rad's just chilling over there. You know what I mean? Like a wet bench status, you know what I mean? Or bread boxing is what a lot of people would, I'd say, refer to. And I mean, you know, this kind of broke up some of the prettiness. I mean, we added some new cables in and everything, but I mean, easy fixes, easy fixes. And then same thing here too, running the cable here for the GPU up over the top and then plugging it in. I just want to kind of look at the Gen 5 and go, okay, so the sense pins are on the top. So when I got the card like this, sense pins are on the bottom. So that means I got to flip this around, or I'm going to be pissed off because I put it in backwards. You know, 50-50, right? Gosh, the 50-50-ness. The 50-50-ness. Let's see, we want to switch this around here. Don't want to pull on our cables too much because our cable management was on point before the stream. And then I think if I go in like that. Oh. Why is this? Oh, it's hooked down. Man, I really tucked it in. And it's caught. Here. Dude, I tucked it so far in there, it went underneath the other thing. I just need to, I'm trying not to pull on it. I mean, after all, it is sense pins. You don't really need them. Oh, yeah, I see. So it went down underneath there on the one side. Let's see what we got. We should have enough. Because then... look at the card, sense pins on the bottom. Sense pins will be on the bottom. Like that, okay. But I need to free this cable up here a little bit. This is probably a con from me playing around with the floor, but I think it's just superior cable tuckage by me. And then I tucked it too far. This is a fun issue. This is my issue though. This has nothing to do with the case. Dude, I don't want to like cut this pin, man. I don't want to catch the card on fire. Even though you guys would all probably want to see that. Ay. Okay, pull some more cables up. Pull some more cables up. I'm trying not to break up my poor cable, my sweet cable management, but it does not look like it cares. It's like, nope. Ah. It got underneath a panel when I tucked it in there because I was really trying to fit all this in. Because it looked nice in the beginning of the stream. I thought everyone used their middle finger. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if it, maybe I'm different, you know what I mean? Question, where did you put the film you removed off? Oh my God. We didn't remove it. We forgot to remove it. Why did you tell me? Hold on. The stream just got really interesting. I didn't peel it off. I totally forgot. Okay, hold on. Cable first. All right, that's fixed. We totally forgot to peel it off. Holy crap. Do you want to turn it on? Well, should we turn it on and use it as a test experience? Did I plan to do that in the first place and just not tell you guys, but somebody mentioned it in the chat and then I had to bring it up like I forgot, but I didn't forget, but then I did forget? You took all the fun out of it. Paying attention? Why are we paying attention? Hey, to be fair, I did say always make sure you pull it off, didn't I? I did say that, but I wanted to be a little silly with it and see if anybody noticed. And nobody noticed. Did anybody say anything before? Did anybody even mention it? I was looking, but I didn't see. But then again, I'm building. I can't look at the chat. God, I need a mod. I need a mod for this stuff so I can make it funnier, because then that way he would know and then he could comment. What is that? But yeah, I'm going to do it with the sticker on. I was just going to do it to just kind of be funny. So let's see what happens. Ooh. We're just going into BIOS anyways. We're not doing anything crazy. All right. And then, yeah, before putting this in here, play with your little GPU bracket. Put that thing kind of all the way at the bottom. And then that way, with that all the way at the bottom, you can just move it up after you get the card in. So we're just getting the card back in. So the card is in now. I love that you noticed. I thought maybe, but wasn't sure and didn't want to spoil it if you're doing a surprise. Well, how do you kind of break up and have some fun when all you're doing is giving out waffles and building a simple system? You know what I mean? Like, how do I try to break it up and give a little excitement in the stream? Especially for you guys that are hanging out after Waffle. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this could be fun. You know, maybe you guys would believe me. Maybe you wouldn't. Don't really care as long as it makes for some fun content. You know what I'm saying? But like, look at this. Getting back on the seriousness, plugging the cable in over the top, way better. I do want to run this underneath my 3.0. Yeah, gives it a lot cleaner of a look there. Oh. Let's see, dude. Tubes aren't even touching. Wait, you're worried that the graphics card's gonna melt the tube? Like, come on, man. It doesn't get it. If your card is getting that hot, that's a problem. If you're worried that CPU cooling performance could be affected when it's not touching the GPU, you could be asking a little too much there. You know what I mean? But forgetting to peel the sticker on the AIO, who knows what could happen? Will it explode? Is it just going to go to 1,000 degrees Celsius in 3.2 seconds? Wouldn't we love to know? I think I want to know. I mean, why not, right? Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. And if you didn't notice, I think the giveaway that I was trying to not give away was that I used the cheapy paste, which I never use. But I did that anyways. And I said, it's whatever. I kind of, never mind. You guys, it's just whatever. It's funny. Okay. Let's blow it up. We'll just get new parts for next week. Wouldn't that be cool if like the show is just about blowing up PCs? Well, I probably wouldn't be a good channel for it though. You know what I'm saying? We do make systems after all. You know what I mean? Okay, so plugged in, everything good. Everything's perfect. We didn't screw the AIO down in, but whatever. You guys know how that goes. Let's get the top panel back on. Let's make it look like we did it right the first time and put our stuff in here. Let me see, is this my panel? Yeah. Okay. Boom. Look, that's it. That's it. You basically get a little ice cube box. Oh, you got to have the panel around the right way. These panels are also symmetrical, by the way, if you didn't know. Oh, but my cable management back here is like, what are you doing? And I mean, the other thing too is you can't cheat too much, because again, it's not like the panel itself over here, over there. It's not like it's got that screw where you can push that bad boy in and wrench that screw down going like, oh yeah, it'll all fit in there. You only have magnets. So like if you do it a little bad, it's gonna do a little pop out there and everything. But, oh, let me get, appreciate you guys hanging out. We're wrapping up our TR200 build with a twist, just for some funsies. Love the case. Great little fitment and size here for, you know, what you're looking for and everything. Maybe I should probably take the panel off. Here's the other mouse too. So this is the mouse that's kind of going with it. Cable, it is wireless. Again, sample, but I really like just the white with the black. It looks really, really good. But yeah, let's try to break something. Well, you know, maybe we'll take this panel off. We don't want to miss out on any fun. You know what I mean? Kind of turn it a little bit to the sideways there. So if it does explode, you will all get to see this. Oh, wait. The different Bon Jovi. Oh, yeah. Worst thing that could happen is it melts and bonds to the plate. You know, I don't know if that can happen, to be fair. But I honestly am not 100% sure either. You know what I mean? I'm not 100% sure either. All right, so what else do I need to do? Power's in, plugged in. I got it hooked up to the the stream. This is going to be dead or alive right here, man, 100%. All right. It's dead. No, it's alive. Oh! I forgot. It's gonna post, dude. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, but we should switch over. Wait, we should get over there. Oh, see, it's already in Windows. Crap. Oh, my whole fun. My fun is lost. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I can't see anything. Let's restart. I can barely read this. I think that's restart. Just keep, yeah. I'm sorry. Give me a mod and we'll talk. I think the cable situation threw me off good. I'm sorry, dude. That cable for the Gen 5 getting like pinched like that. You keep your 405,000 tokens. All right, so let's see what the BIOS says. So see, all right, right here, guys, right here. Look at this. So, to be fair, this is a i5, right? It's a 14600K. But as you can see, it's idling at 50C. Now, would you think this is bad? Do you think this is bad? Would you be like, oh, okay, yeah, everything's cool? You know what I mean? RAM's detected, so that's good. Profile is there, it's good. You know what I mean? Hard drive show, M.2's there, you're good. But you're looking at this and you're just like, oh, it's at 50C. You may or may not realize what the difference would be in this regards, right? Until you go under load or start installing Windows and then that temperature starts creeping, right? It's already at, it went up to 51. We need to implement 10,000 tokens. Well, you know, I don't have time to do anything with the tokens anyways. Good. I'm sorry. I've wanted to for so long. It's a bit warm, right? So I think for a lot of us that have built a PC before, yours should be around 30 or so like that, right? Something like 50 in the BIOS or something could be a little scary. But somebody might not know this either, right? This might be something that you may or may not know. And it's a perfect test or use case that I could bring up to try to help anyone with building a PC for the first time, right? And have a little fun. So this is with sticker, okay? This is with sticker, 52. It'd probably keep going as we continue and go on, you know what I mean? Because just what that's doing and everything. But let's do this. Let's shut it down. Let's shut her down. But look, hey, all the RGB works. Look at the little sync. Look, oh, look, pretty. And yeah, the cable going around the top made a lot more sense for me, I would say, than trying to do something else. Is he right there? There we go. Oh, does that stay on the whole time? That's interesting. I wonder if that stays on the entire time. Oh man, I'm gonna have to run. I didn't tighten those cables down too. That was the other thing, because if I would have zipped out, then I was like, crap, I can't take it off real easy. But we'll have to check that out. Maybe there's a setting in the software, because like there's really it's a little different and everything like that. But we'll have to see. But here, let's do this, because we're running out of time. We're running out of time. But I thought this would be fun to do. And I kind of had a short stream last week, so I wanted to break it up and have a little bit more fun. All right, we'll just leave everything else in, and we'll just do this quick and dirty. See if we can get at least a decent angle on that. Little angle on that. There we go. Oh, that one dropped. Dropped that one too, but that's okay. See how easy we can do this. All right, there you go. There you go. Can you see it? That is what you don't want to do. All right? Don't do this, please. I think fix this a little bit here. Hold on. Oh, you can't see now. All right, now that we got this done, let's go ahead and do it right. Let's see what the difference is. I'm kind of curious, right? I thought 50 was a little low. I was expecting something a lot higher, so I could have panicked and all that stuff, but you know, sometimes plans don't always go the way they're supposed to be. Sometimes you forget a little thing or two. And that's what we're trying to teach you here. Okay, the other thing too is I pushed my back plate out, but that's okay. Let me just grab my remaining screws here. There we go. All right. Let me do this on the quick, really quick. Let me just get these all resituated. Get that all back in there. I'm not gonna like clean the paste off and like do anything crazy, but I am gonna use the same crappy stuff so that way, you know, I don't do the whole like, oh, it's liquid metal. Oh no, it's just regular paste. Oh, it's liquid metal. But dude, I gotta admit, we got a good smush on it at least. Nice coverage, just on a sticker. Oh, fun. All right, now just bear with me here. Just get this guy on. Just get like, oh my God. I dropped it and I don't know where it went. Oh, it's right there. Let me do this. Fingers are too big. Fingers are too big. There we go. Let me get kitty corner. As a waffle. Meow, meow, meow. Uh-oh, where'd the last one go? Oh, it's right there. Now, you know, another little tip too, like, use a drill to take them off, but you don't use a drill to tighten them up. You know what I mean? Tighten all your screws by hand. I highly recommend it. You do them enough, you kind of get like, I don't know, how do you say it? Like you kind of get like an idea of how much torque to put. Some people like to wrench their AIOs down a lot. I don't recommend it. You can warp the bracket, bend, and kind of put too much pressure, or it's tighter's not always better when it comes to mounting AIOs. I mean, it's the same thing with like fittings, right? Like you can crush an O-ring over tightening it, thinking it's not gonna leak because you tightened it more, and then come to find out you blew the O-ring over tightening it, and now what is supposed to be there to protect you has failed because of over tightening. And people have been there. Definitely different than mountain AIOs. AIOs make it a lot easier if you want to, you know what I mean, to be honest. Let me get my cable. Got to make the cable management good. Got to make the cable management good. And I mean, to be fair, I was thinking 70-ish as far as temp-wise goes. I was kind of thinking like, it's probably going to be like in the 70s. It'd be obvious, like easy for somebody to go, whoa, that's a little warm, Mike. I was just trying. I'm just trying. All right, so basically we peeled the sticker off, put it right back together. I knew that wasn't going to be too crazy to do. We'll go ahead and leave this off, see if we can see a difference. With and without stickerage. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hope you guys are having a good hump day. Just trying to break up your week. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us. Congrats again to the Waffle winners. Gotta love it. Why doesn't HW Info auto resize when you change the window size? We have the technology. Because I think, wait, doesn't HW Info follow the same, like, what is it, like style as like a window? Like, you know, if you close a window on that monitor, it will open back up on said monitor, not your primary monitor always. But so if you resize it and then close it, if you reopen it, it should reopen to that set. Because I believe when I would do testing like this, I would have that already up and it kind of populates like that whole side of the screen because there's just so much crap in there. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right. All right, firing it back up in 3, 2, 1. Will it post? Will it post, everybody? We don't know yet. Is it gonna work? We don't know. It could work. Maybe it will fail. Ah. $30C. Right? Right? 20C difference, man. If you don't know, now you know. Have you ever built a system before and you start seeing like 50, 60 temps on idle? There's something wrong. Now, this could be related to gap outs. Man, this could be related to so many things, you guys. Misaligned screws, back plate's not on right, forgetting to take the sticker off. There's so many different things that could end up. And ideally, sometimes it comes down to the BIOS, where the BIOS is going to be your last saving grace, your last opportunity. Like if you get this thing to at least post, your saving grace is going to be that. And I see that CPU temperature in almost every BIOS today. So it's a real obvious one that's right there foremost, right? So if something like that comes up, these are some easy ways to check. And there's a great example to give you a comparison on what happens with the sticker on versus with the sticker off. It's literally a 20C difference, but I think it's more about understanding what that temperature is in something as simple as the BIOS and knowing that might not be right, Mike. You know what I mean? So there you go. Cool little test with that. We'll go ahead, F10, save everything. Do I still have my other one? Oh yeah, I had this one too. And I gotta say, I love these new wireless mice because like stuff like this for like, Bueller? All right, there we go. And see, there we are. It posted. Yes, it posted. Yes, we finally got a PC to turn on. I spent about half as much time in the BIOS as I do in Windows. If you can, well, yeah, for benchmarking, I could totally understand that. I could totally understand that. Gap out happens all the time when people use the wrong adapters. And see, I think a lot of that has to do with like, dude, how do you? I mean, like, here's our PC. It's looking good. It's looking good. I think I plugged the screen in. I'd have to take a look at that, but whatever. I think you guys get the gist of it. You know what I mean? The TR200 offers a lot of fun and unique styles to it. I thought it was a fun little build case to get this thing set up like that. Be able to educate a little bit in regards to AIO installations and kind of, you know, cross-platform it with different things that we're selling, especially newer stuff that you can find today on our website that just have come out, like our LB360 AIO or our TR200 case, amongst power and all the other fun stuff, right? But, you know, sometimes as you're building PCs, if it's a particular cable that got kind of tangled up while you're trying to do your last minute fitments, or if it's just other things where like, oh yeah, I know I got to do this, but something else came up. And when that other thing came up, I forgot about that. And I didn't realize it until after the fact, because not everybody's got a chat to be like, hey, Mike, did you take the sticker off? So things like that can happen. And this was why I wanted to kind of have a little bit of fun with it, you know, without making it too drastic and crazy. But at the same time, to see like something like a difference like that. I mean, a lot of times when I just do initial testing, I just take an old stock air cooler from like AMD or whatever, and I just smash that down on the CPU, no retention at all, plug the fan in just so I could boot it up into the BIOS. Yeah, it gets a little warm, but it's definitely within its limits, so I can just make sure, you know, that my RAM is properly detected, my hard drive's there. I might not install Windows with it in that position, but I'm at least going to be able to, you know, play around with the BIOS, see what the BIOS version is, you know, and see if I need to update it. And I'll do a lot of that stuff right there, right out of the gate before I even build the whole thing. Because I have personally had situations where everything was perfect, and one of the last things I did was realize that there was a BIOS update, and it bricked my entire system to the point where the only choice was to RMA the motherboard. And if you could understand this on a Friday evening, getting prepped for the weekend with your favorite game, and just everything works, and then you go and update the BIOS and everything is dead. Stuff like that is always a possibility when it comes to PCs. And you know, those kind of things can happen. Same with leaving the sticker on or other fun little things that we don't want to do, but we do. Am I right? So stuff like that is more or less what can happen. So, you know, you better believe. You better believe. All right, everybody. That's it for our show today. We appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much for being here again. Congratulations to our Waffle winners. Hope this was a good breakdown of our TR200 case here from Thermaltake Micro ATX. Now available, $100. Get it in if you want to get it. Don't forget, we got wood too. All right? All right, you guys. Happy hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time.
Mike in the zone. Click, clack, screws, he at work alone. He don't rush, he don't play. Every bill clean, every bay okay. You better step light when Mike come through.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He look at the socket like a hawk looks down. One slip, one scratch, then you hear that sound. Thermaltake is the way. You better believe every day. Hump day is the day. Mike build it right, no delay. Thermaltake is the way. You better believe every day. Don't chip up, don't play, or you'll lose a leg today. He got dust on his coat, but his hands stay clean. Reading specs like a dream in a magazine. TT on the side, that logo gleam. Case so cold, make the whole room scream. He Any tiny crack, then the whole thing's less. He say, hold still when the torque gets tight. Respect that board or it won't post right. Mike got patience in the hard shell grin. He know the bill from the studs to the pins. When the power light hits, that green glow sings, and the camel just nods like I made good things. One bad chip and the dream gone limp. Mike don't blink, Mike don't slip. Thermaltake shine, TT pride. Build it sturdy, build it wide. Thermaltake is the way you better believe. Every day, day is the day. Mike build it right, no delay. Thermaltake is the way you better believe. Every day, don't chip up, don't play, or you're